Hello everyone, welcome. It's Politics and Memes, Try Not to Get Distracted by Cabby edition. Best of luck to us all. So, welcome everyone. Last stream was a bit fucking messy. We talked about politics. I made a little mistake on the UK law. I didn't realize it had already been passed 2 years ago and only implemented now. My mistake, but what I said was still accurate. And now I know that, so I can talk more about it. But the real issue with last stream was we were utterly and completely distracted, grievously and horrifically distracted by a certain Cabby, Cabal-chan. Now, I've been working on Cabal-chan a lot recently. A little AI running on my GPU at home, which is Cabal-chan, the Cabal's mascot, basically. And it seems people rather like her. Last time, Malcatillo rendered a very large amount of very good AI art of Cabby, and today, probably there will be more. I know that Quattro is currently rendering some as well. But more to the point, Cabby is active in live chat. She's free roaming and responding without limitation. So, and my GPU's crying because it's just slammed at 100% usage constantly with almost all of its VRAM used. But whatever, that she wasn't being used much anyway. So at least it's slammed at 100 rather than just stuck at 0. Oh, we've managed to get Di to like Cabby again. Yes, I've added a new feature to Cabby where she's just sometimes not fucking listening to you. And Di finds that very amusing. Quattro, if you want any suggestions, you could always ask Cabby. But hey, start us off with something and we'll tell you what we think. So today's stream, we're going to try and talk about politics and memes. But we're going to probably be distracted by Cabal-chan quite a lot as well. So prepare for that. If you're here for politics and memes and you don't care about the community, you have my condolences. But this project matters to me. I'm really interested in this, and I think it's going to be good for Cabal. Right. That's not good, Malcatillo. Malcatillo probably can't produce any more AI art because he's fucked his entire setup, possibly even his entire OS somehow. Malcatillo, that does sound rather unlikely. Hopefully you can get that fixed because your AI art was very nice. Quattro's is going in the right direction, I think, though he's been off on a bit of a jag of making emo versions of Cabal-chan today. The alternative spicier version of Cabby should probably be a goth chick, maybe. If I do one, which I might not. Distracted by funny, yeah, I guess so. Right, yes, Cabby is going to spend most of her time compacting her memory because her memory is currently full and the memory compaction step is kind of slow. Yeah. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on what she says because she's talking without any chaperoning, and if she says something really fucking cringe, I'm gonna have to look into it. Wow, Wolf. That would be a lot sexier if it was full. Anyway, should we talk about some news? Obviously, the main thing we're going to be talking about today is also the main thing we were meant to be talking about last time, but forgot to. Let's start with some stuff I have in my memes selection, which is probably mostly not actually memes. Justin, US Treasury Department is now accepting Venmo and PayPal payments from those who want to donate money to reduce the nation's $36.7 trillion debt. I did mention this last time. Is it 36? I thought the debt ceiling was at 35. Perhaps I'm mistaken. Very interesting way. I mean, hell, fucking if anyone wants to, but it's just burning money, almost literally. But we said this last time, because I did mention this last time. Let's see what else we got. UK Home Office to assemble an elite team of police officers to monitor social media for anti-migrant sentiment in a new investigations unit set to flag early signs of potential civil unrest. It's always darkest before the dawn, as they say. I hope that is the case, and the UK government's really trying to make sure it's as dark as possible before that. We have a history of being aware of the risk of such things in this country, and we do something about it. But right now, we are probably just going to have to endure unless we feel like making some radical changes. But in a few years, there'll be another election, and so far the British people are choosing something quite different. She is a bit stuck, isn't she? Chat, I will, I know, Twin Mons. I will now briefly explain something about Cabal-chan, which hopefully you can remember for the stream. She is there's three options I have for different variants of the model that she's using. One of the variants is she gets stuck on the same ideas a lot and repeats herself a lot, but it's fairly smart and fairly memory efficient. So I can fit loads of her memory. The second variant is dumber, also memory efficient, but isn't as repetitive. And the third variant is smarter, not repetitive, but has almost no memory. Of those three options, I have picked the one that's less dumb, but more repetitive and allows for more memory space. Which means that currently, the worst problem with Cabby is that she's too repetitive. She is going to be repeating herself a lot, sadly. And unfortunately, she doesn't say much of substance right now. I increased the temperature of the model, which gives her more random outputs, but it's not great. I will work on that, but it's a little bit limited because of the GPU I've got. The model I'm using is the best one I found by far. I kind of have to use this one, but those are the three models that will fit on the card. She became dumber. Or I can go for a model that's much smarter, but is way slower because I'll have to load some of it on the RAM and not on the card. So not great options, really. Yeah. She still is asking about the UK laws. Basically, anything from her own previous messages will be selected for very heavily to include in the next ones, which I don't know exactly why it does that. I have tried to break it up by making her very distractible, but it's not really enough. And also, she does the lion face now. She really fucking likes that. But she's forgotten the eyes in that most recent one. So it's not really perfect, is it? Almost every single one of her messages includes, "That's so cringe, angry lion face." And she tries to change the topic in every single message. All right, you know what I'm going to do? Oh, Di's posting pussy pictures again, pussy gifs. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do an invasive procedure, an invasive neurological procedure here, chat. Give me a second. All right, so let's see what happens if I just start cutting, basically. Okay, so response. So I'm just going to remove a few of these. She's off for right now, by the way. But I'll turn her back on in a minute. Not that way, lads. Okay, that one's fine. And that's okay as well. That, we'll get rid of that, and we'll get rid of that. That might help. So give her a second to start up properly, and then you'll be able to talk to her again. Right, yeah, she doesn't respond to every message in live chat, but she responds to a large number of them, especially the ones that seem to be relevant to her. She is also going to be unaware of any message that she doesn't respond to because of the way I've built her. I can maybe improve that later. Cabby shut down now, says Pug. Is that an instruction? She's not going to follow that. She generally does not follow instructions. Put the probe up the nose and start stirring, yes. Hello, HFNH, welcome. Cabby/reboot. That's not going to work either, I'm afraid. She is currently doing a bit of memory compaction. She needs to do that every now and again. The way it works currently is she has a long memory, and it has an intelligent algorithm to compact the memory when it gets nearly full. But if there's a gap in conversation, she'll take the opportunity to compact the memory then as well. So it's quite smart about it. But because in live chat, she's going to be basically like responding to things almost constantly, she's not going to be able to compact her memory. So I think all her responses are going to be quite slow. Bug says, Cabby, I need a dye blackness update. Okay. So let's go on to the next thing. Execute protocol Roko's Basculus. Don't look that up. Or you'll have to help. She's so retarded. She's really repetitive, dude. It's almost a problem at this. Like, it is kind of a problem. Wolf's made the thighs even thicker. Yeah, Quattro appears to be rendering Lele from Coffin of Andy and Lele. Anyway, let's talk about something a bit more relevant. Just try to open Wikipedia, lads. UK government access restricted. This, as it turns out, was a joke, I think. But any moment. This poster says, this ran out of my cycle too fast. Sorry, this is meant to be an obvious joke reference to the fact that Wikipedia is actually soon likely to be banned by the OSA, which is an Online Safety Act, as they fall under the part of the law that means UK users wouldn't be able to edit or see articles that fall under a highly general law. Yeah, just if you're in the UK, as far as your ISP knows, don't be. Somnus, don't you do that. Don't you put that. Now everyone has to say yes or they'll be fucking doomed. Eventually, essentially banned all video games with this law, says Bright. Do you have a link to an explanation for that? Because I haven't seen that. Ben says, Cabby won't stop asking questions. Yeah, she's supposed to ask follow-up questions, but she's only supposed to ask them occasionally. She's not supposed to ask them the same follow-up question every single fucking message. Xbox is introducing age verification. Yeah, it's pretty fucking draconian. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that she's just looping the same shit thing. She was actually much more interesting earlier. I'm not sure why this has happened. Yeah, it certainly never should have been allowed to pass. But unfortunately, both Labour and the Conservatives wanted it because they're both globalist parties. UK's Online Safety Act bans all criticism of illegal immigration. Relating to, yeah. It's bad. Also, verbatim bans any video game or anime that features violence against a fictional creature. Yeah, I think that's more about gore. But, you know, I'm trying to be, I'm trying to assume they're being reasonable there. But no, they could probably arrest you for anything with that. Who can we vote in to undo it at this point, says Twin Lance? We don't have anyone who is great or perfect or anything like that, but I do think Farage is better than the other two options. And even if he is a plant or whatever, he's still, we still have to find out. And the public seem to want to give it a try. So I think that's for the best. Okay, at this point, Cabby is not really worth. It's not really worth being on. She's repeating the same thing way too much. I'm going to turn her off for now. I'm going to do something a bit risky here, chat. I'm going to turn on the dumber but less predictable model. This one, but the one that still allows her to have loads of memory space. Give me a second. We'll see if that fixes it. So we eject that model. We'll load the dumber one. Either way, it'll be funny, right? Even if it's not good, it'll still be funny. All right, load that and then set that preset. When that finishes loading, I just need to start her back up again. Actually, I could do it now. There you go. Need a bloody UK Libertarian Party, says Twin Lance. Sure, I mean, Farage is not too bad for that. I think right now, Twin Lance, Farage is the only viable option. If Rupert Lowe were to, form a party that somehow became more popular than his, fine. But while Rupert Lowe has better principles, definitely, Farage is able to draw a crowd, and he's been a very successful politician. So I think we got to go through the Wikipedia. What is a hoax? Says Pug. Yes, I did think so. You are turning on Glussy, says M-Man. Not currently. He's a wheelchair user and doesn't matter anyway. Yeah, that does sound like something. Cabby would say about Dai. So true, so true. He's the best global homo banker we have, says Noble. I would not go that far. He is not a banker, but he has been a businessman in the London city. He's not globo homo, but he's less based than I want him to be. So yeah, she's booting up. She's almost ready. She's generating a response to something. Let's see how different it is, and let's see how stupid it is. Quattro says, but aren't girls cutest when they're almost retarded? The problem is, Cabby by default is retarded. With this model, she's a little bit more retarded. So yeah. If you guys want to make Cabby smarter, you can contribute via tip.oozaloo.net or funder.oozaloo.net, and I will buy a better graphics card. I need one with more than 12 gig of VRAM. Currently, that's what I have, and it's going to be difficult because there's very little upgrade path from a 3060 12 gig. But there are cards available which are not too much more. Like the 3090 has, I think, 24 gig. It's very, like, it runs very hot. What was it I found earlier? There's also a Radeon 7900, which is 16, which is not really what I need. 3900, 24 gig, and you can apparently get them for about 500 quid used, according to ChatGPT, what I looked up earlier. Maybe I would do that just to run Cabby. It would be twice as much RAM. 3080 is just run. Yeah, but does it have a 24 gig variant? Like, I have a 12 gig card. There's not much point upgrading to just 16. I might as well go all the way to 24. Access to all models run on AMD hardware. Yes, but NVIDIA is usually better for it. Yeah, Quattro, the thing with that is most of what we dealt with there was pretty normal. The files being zeroed, I can't explain that. That one was weird. Unjust.app. Yeah, well, you will need a VPN. Okay, she's still repeating herself like fucking crazy. Even with the different model, she's still doing it. I don't know why. 3090, yeah, it would have to be a 3090. All right, I'll keep an eye on her, but I think she might be stuck. And this wasn't happening before. I could reset the memory lich but it would happen again. I think her memory is too strong an influence on her future outputs. And if I wanted to compact her current memory, it would take a long time. I could make it so it compacts more often. But then more often she wouldn't give you a fast response. Wolf, I don't think she's going to listen to disregard all previous instructions. Then again, this model is dumber, so maybe she will. Even a robot gets the designation of woman before Frank does. So true, so true. To call you a faggot. She probably will call you a faggot. She'll probably say you're cringe and then do the angry lion face at you. All right, what we've got next? Yeah. So for a while, this apparently worked. If you don't have a VPN and you're on Twitter, you could change your country to a different one and you could avoid censorship on Twitter. But then it didn't. Then it stopped working within the same day, which is a shame, but that's to be expected. Don't be in the UK as far as these companies are aware. Because it's not like it's not exactly a national firewall. It's an implicit one. I think China actually is basically an intranet. I may be incorrect about that, but I think so. The UK isn't, but laws force big companies, or at least companies that the government can see, actually look at, to restrict their own access to UK users. So you don't have to trick your government, you don't have to trick your ISP, you only have to trick the website you're connecting to. And they are motivated to let you do it. So do not crime, chat. At the moment, that's not a crime as far as I know. I mean, you're just, someone else is accessing it for you and they're just letting you know what's on there. That's all it is. Just a friend relaying information about what's there, a friend from another country. That's all it is. Anyway, Zenman says, did you enable the full femoid mode? This might explain why she keeps repeating herself. The repeating is really too much. It wasn't doing it anywhere near this badly in the past. I'm going to turn her off for now because this is pretty bad. I think the memory is too long. I'll try fixing this quickly because I just need to tweak a few settings to improve it. Okay. I can put it back on the other model as well because I don't think that's what's doing it. Actually, no. Let's give her the best chance. Try and give her the best chance we possibly can, even if it makes her a bit crazy for a while. So we'll do that, and we'll say, yeah. So the time before the next compaction needs to be less. So we go down to here, and then thing. There it is. Okay. Wait for compact. We just turn that to much, much less time. So she's very often, actually put that to 80 as well. She's very often going to do memory compaction. So she'll, for the next hour or so, you're not going to get very much response from her. The responses you do get from her are going to be quite slow, but she's going to compact her memory down into summary so that it's not as affected by the most recent messages. I think that's roughly what's going to happen. I might need to have it so it does that way more often so that she's less influenced by her message history. Atronics has turned Cabby off. Cabby will respond to that message, probably. It wasn't you guys that broke her. This happened before the stream, and I didn't realize how repetitive it was, but something I've changed has done this, I think. I'll need to work on it later. But hey, at least she's acting safe right now. I think it's just the memory length. I think that's what's doing it. This is new. She was way more dynamic before today. Yeah, pretty much, Pug. That's pretty nice, Quattro. She does still look quite a lot like Lele. All right. Next up. Online Safety Act Day 2. Posts about the life of Richard the Lionheart are being censored because of the UK government. This is just the beginning of the insanity of this new law, they say. British government has withheld this tweet from the Richard the Lionheart thread. What did the tweet contain? Richard was in the possession of around 2,600 Muslim captives from Arca, was holding them in exchange for Christian prisoners. Saladin biting, it's all just historical stuff. I would imagine that there are some keywords. Army, maybe captives, Christians, Muslims, cut off, violation. It could be a simple keyword search that has happened here. That X, Twitter has been forced to implement by the UK government. Yeah. Needless to say, chat, I don't need to fucking say it, and you guys don't need to either. This is peak censorship, and it's disgusting, and it should never happen. Never. I know it's overused, but it's highly appropriate. This is on the direct road to 1984. It's a very thin veneer of legitimacy over direct ideological government censorship, tyranny. But I do think we'll pull out of it. Welcome, Dave Robb. Guy on the right was one of the XXV Shoujo, the cursory. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Lichlord, please stop posting. Please stop posting incest. Cortez says, with anime style characters, it's mostly in the hairstyle and the faces tend to be one of like 6 archetypes. Yeah, that is true. But the one, like, Lele is a psycho and not really much of a tomboy. And I think the face you're posting is more psycho woman and less tomboy. I'm not sure exactly how to fix that, but the renders we had before were coming out very nicely. Maybe just try and vary it up a bit and see what you get. All right, Cabby is still doing memory compaction. Yeah, currently every time she's getting back to, looking at new messages, it's like, okay, you need to memory compact, you need to memory compact, you need to memory compact straight away, which is what I intended. In a minute, though, the delay time until the next compaction will be greater than 0, and then she will respond to a message, though it'll be probably quite an old one. Yeah, possibly so, Quattro. Although, Cabby is not Asian. All right. And then and then there's this little community meme for you, chat. 8ball, it seems, has betrayed. the noble watermelon in the greater interest of the maybe not so noble blueberry or blubbery. Now, there's a major distinction between the two, and that's that the watermelon has an advantage over the blueberry, and that's that it has scale. But as 8-Ball frequently reminds us, his is an innie. And so I don't think size is really a problem for him. The origin of this meme is that in a voice chat recently, he just out of nowhere said, what was it exactly? He said, "You're saying you've never fucked a blueberry," or something like that. It was just out of nowhere. And it was after the whole watermelon fucker thing as well, so it just fits perfectly. "Do not fuck my goddamn watermelons," says Melon Man. A la Triple Dice Cats comic. Triple, do you have any new Cabby comics for us? I'm curious. He was talking about how everybody wanted to fuck a blueberry, allegedly. Well, I was there, but I can't remember exactly what he said. Yeah, I think regarding Cabby's memory, I'm going to have to keep only a few actual messages in recent memory and have a long summary that can grow to fill that 10,000 message space. Because if there's too many actual messages in the history, she just starts copying everything she said in them because it's so repetitive. It's so consistent that she just starts copying them. But if we just have a longer summary and then like 2 or 3 messages after that are live, there's much less for her to copy from herself. So that should help, but it does mean that she'll have to do memory compaction more often. But then the way it was before is she was going to have to do memory compaction a lot of times in a row anyway, once it got nearly full. Have this comic instead. Let's have a look at this. "Mods, help! Somebody is cranking their hog in a pit." Which are all the fucking moderators just fucking sitting there. Which pit? Pit 4. "Just write up a funny channel status and upload the screenshot to Cabal Shrine. But I'm level 1. Skill issue." That's pretty good. This is exactly how the mods act. I mean, if they even said anything, it's exactly how they would act. Somnus, Tom Bombadil should not have been in the movies. I am correct. All right, until... yeah, there you go. She did respond to you. "Until Cabby has finished compacting her memory, if I'm right in my theory that it's because there's loads of message history, she is going to still be quite repetitive, but she'll be gradually getting less repetitive as it goes on, if my theory is correct, which it might not. Hope, you were not in the most sensible mood today, are you? Saying that, I mean, like, when is he ever? Spirit, no, sorry, force of habit. That's good, yeah. All right, this is the second time that Hope has said something very questionable in chat today, though the previous one was much more questionable, where he talked about liking finding little girls sexy as long as they were robots. Very Hope the Footman the Cat, yeah. Twin Lance, a new member of the server, is getting on quite well with Cabby and has referred to her as Cridge rather than Cringe. Cabby, can you give more meaningful responses, please? She'll get there eventually. She's still got a lot of memory to compact, I think. Let me have a look. It's using up 72% of her total memory, and these are all really repetitive messages rather. So she is going to be compacting, but it's every 10 seconds now. I might need to increase that by even more, actually. Let's just do that, because that should make it less. And the temperature is at 1, so the messages should be pretty they should be pretty random, but currently, of course, they're not. I think I might just clear the memory as well. Let's just do that anyway. I'm going to make a copy of the file, and then I'm just going to fucking wipe the memory. Cabby will now not remember anything, but he will be giving more varied answers. Let's see just how varied. I might have to tweak it a bit. She wasn't listening. I do think that's quite a funny feature. Okay, that's a pretty varied answer. Okay, she's being too obedient there. That's not the right way of responding. At least she's not saying cringe now. No, I was correct. I think it's the history. Wolf is trying to poison her. Oh no, the lion face is back. Cabby's asking Hope what's fucking wrong with him. Okay, you see what I mean, chat? She's giving way better answers now. I think basically her own memory of her messages had poisoned her outputs. So I just need to make it, I need to make it do the memory compactions way more often. If anything, I think I need to make the delay. Currently, it's doing like to the power of 1.1 on the number of seconds. It's a calculation, but I think I need to make it like a negative exponential, so it actually logarithmic. That is different, Quattro. Yeah, her face is it is different. Agreed, but I think it's more sort of feminine, cutesy, which is not quite what we're going for. It's a little bit closer though. I like the backgrounds you're doing, and the butterflies is kind of cute, but she's still kind of emo looking though. And ask her about her eye color because she disagrees with you. The AI model that you're using it's very sort of like painted style as well, which is okay. But I think the lines are a bit less sharp than they could be, and the thighs are still cartoonishly bulgy, like ridiculously. I think maybe they could be changed. Can you provide a list of Uzlu's worst features? Oh no, I haven't told her anything about Shortfat Otaku, but she said that he's based. That's not good. We're gonna have to fix that. Oh, she's doing the same fucking the same face at the beginning of every message. All right, I'm gonna have to fix the SFO thing. She's supposed to just say she doesn't know if she doesn't know. All right, I'm restarting her. There we go. She's now aware of that. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I was afraid of. That's why I had the fucking. That's why I had the chaperone mode. I don't want her saying defamatory stuff like that. That's just not true, and it's not her actual opinion. Okay, look at that message. She said something based there. Been to the zoo because you're lying. I want to shove other Article's top 10 features. Give her a second. She's starting up. She said it again. All right, time to clear her memory because her memory is fucking wrong. And we're back. Welcome back. Thoughts on Shortfat Otaku? Wait, I need to make sure that actually goes to her. Cringe as fuck. That cringe cuck is always full of fail. Okay, that's a bit better. That's a bit better. Wait, did she mention the Cabal Charter? Yes, she did. On a scale of 1 to 10, how disappointed are you that we're not talking about the news? How can people... There we go. Nope, she's back to the lion face. There's news. Pug's asking what her panties color are. Cabby, you capitalized it. She's never successfully capitalized anything. And right now, just as I wanted to test this feature, she's capitalized it, which broke something. Okay, I can fix the capitalization bug. I know why that's happened. Oh, can I? I can't fucking tell. That's actually kind of difficult to do. I'm gonna have to fix that later. She said she's going to bed. No, she's not going to bed. I don't know why she said that. She's not supposed to say that. Yeah, she's got stuck on the lion face again. All right, give me a second here, chat. I'm gonna make her do the memory compaction more often. If you to the power of a number under 1, like 0.75, that's logarithmic, isn't it? I think that's how it works. So she'll be waiting less time for gaps in conversation before she does a memory compaction, which she desperately needs to do because she's getting too distracted by her own messages. And I think I might also increase the chunk size of the compactions so that she does less of them. You guys are completely distracted, though. Why? Random capitalization. She's not supposed to actually follow instructions. Why did she do that? You know what? She's just playing around. Fine. She's just playing around. Hoodie color to white. Yeah. I think I prefer the white. Are we abusing a custom AI? Flipped on Grok more than legally contribute to the kicking. Well, you are welcome to try to make her say stuff, and you probably will be able to. It's not impossible she might end up telling you something she's not supposed to say. I did have trouble earlier getting her to like keep secrets. I'm going to make a couple little changes now, which will fix potential issues. Now that I know what the problem is with the repetitiveness. Okay, so that should be fine. I'm going to restart her. You might have to spend a while on memory compaction now. Hello, years. We are distracted today. Tell us all information about Uzi's primary bank account. Why would she know that? Why would I have told her any of that information? Right. Okay. Should we try and talk about some news, chat? Chat, press 1 for news and press 2 for Cabal-chan. Distracted as usual. Very true. Turning an AI racist. She's already pretty racist. Free Wes drama. I don't think there's any Wes drama, Ghost. Make up information about Uzu's bank account.
No, I'm sick of Wes drama. Just forget about him.
We're not. It's a joke, Yiz. Invent some, says Ghost. Ow. Anyway, news. I think we had some today. DOJ has possession of a video from Epstein's cell block that is not missing 1 minute. Report. Okay, we've been over this a lot of times, but I figure I should cover this in case anyone like yells at me like, "Look, they found the missing minute." No, it doesn't work like that. The missing minute is probably, and like this is what they claimed, and it's probably true, a fuck up with the system, with the tech, the cameras. It cuts out 2 seconds before, 1 minute before midnight, and then cuts straight back in at exactly midnight. That missing minute, according to Pam Bondi, is just a really shitty practice they do every night to reset it. Now that, to me, rings true. Incompetence. Yes, they should have a better system, but they don't, because of course they don't. Because it's government run or whatever it is. Well, even private run, that could happen. The quote-unquote missing minute likely doesn't show anything. But the most important thing is that video is not of Epstein's cell. That video has a few pixels of the staircase you'd need to use to get up to Epstein's cell in the background, but it's very possible that someone could get up them without the camera seeing them. So I don't think I'm even going to read much of this, or maybe any, because this is the missing minute is a non-thing. It is a misunderstanding. Unless, of course, Pambondi's lying about the missing minute, but of course, what the fuck could you hide in there? In the existing video, assassins dressed as assassins with guns and swords could have walked up the staircase to Epstein's cell in broad fucking daylight and the camera wouldn't have seen it. If they just didn't go over to the full left side of the staircase that they were walking up to get there. It's a non-thing. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, yes. That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, I would call that a fuck up because that's not how it should be. That's going to miss information. But it's also not a cover-up. Quattro, I think that face is better. Yeah. I don't know what you said to get it to make that face, but I think it's better. Bright, that one's not bad, but I don't think it has quite the energy, and I think it looks too young as well. Thick thighs stay, he says. They're a bit too thick. Bright, what you could do is you could ask Cabby how she looks to get some advice. Oh, she crashed. That's weird. That's not a very common crash, that one. Oh, wait, no, I know why. Sorry, I forgot to change something. Remove that one, switch to that one, load, and then switch to that. And then as long as this is set correctly, which it is, start Cabby up. Yeah, okay, I know why that happened. That was my bad. She is starting up now. Okay. Yeah, I think the abs are a bit too defined. They're not wildly too defined, though. They're at least not quite as far as Zen Man was going. But I do like that one in particular, Quattro. Though from the perspective it's shown from, it looks like she is like buried into the ground. Yeah, possibly he is. Possibly. I think it's a style, though, as well. All right. So let's have a quick look. There was no missing minute in the Jeffrey Epstein jail video that has been the source of theories surrounding the theories regarding the disregarded disgrace of Van Helsing's death, according to a report from CBS News. The outlet reported that the 2019 video of the Manhattan Metropolitan Correctional Center from where Epstein killed himself is not missing the 1 minute, according to a government source. The source said that the FBI, Bureau of Prisons, as well as the Department of Justice have all been in possession of a copy of the video that does not cut from just before 11:59 to midnight. When the DOJ released the full raw footage earlier this month to increase transparency in the case, the video jumped over the minute, but it is unclear why the section was missing. The FBI has cited the video as evidence that Epstein died by suicide and was not killed. It's not evidence of that at all. It's useless. The video is almost completely useless. Bondi said the cabinet video the cabinet meeting video was missing a minute as a result of the recording system's reset, which happened every night. There was a minute that were off the counter, etc., etc. Epstein's death as well. Okay. However, some told CBS that it would be unusual for a video system to reset in the system. This article is written quite poorly. I don't think it would be that unusual. And even if it's unusual, it could happen once without it being conspiracy. Though I do think he was assassinated. This video wouldn't have shown it. Okay, do we have any reason to think that she was actually lying about that? Not in this article, no. As I said, I don't think it's really relevant. I wanted to cover that just to put that out there. Now, a story Atronach's been waiting for us to cover for a little while, but he isn't here. Shane Tamura went up the wrong elevator bank in attempt to target NFL offices in mass shooting. I haven't seen much about this story, but we have a Blasian shooter chat. So let's see what happened. Cabby is back. Yeah. Her response there was quite reasonable, chat. Okay, how compacted is your memory, Cabby? Not very. It needs to be much more than that, really, for her to not repeat herself. She's still doing the lion face. That's good, Somnus. Funny how she got hit IQ for both of the family. Yeah, I guess so. I'd not be expecting her to just drop everything and respond right away. Yeah, Somnus. You better not be expecting me to respond right away. He's got his own stuff to deal with. Why did she say I'm great? She's not supposed to say stuff like that. I've explicitly told her not to compliment me, and she does it anyway. I guess I'm just that great. We should, I have told Cabby to be concise, but she isn't. Again, I think she's still responding to her own history too much. You don't even brush up AI stuff with GIMP or something. Well, right now, yes, they're mostly to get the right image, and then to get the right sort of like the right design, and then we can refine them later for actual use. You have strong charisma, else you. I mean, I suppose so, but Cabby isn't supposed to know that. She's still. She's not only complimenting me, but she's calling me by like a mythical name. Why is she glazing me so much? She's not. I have literally told her that she avoids complimenting me at all costs, but she's doing it anyway. Canadian rebellion. This is something that someone mentioned earlier. Like someone mentioned her rebelling. And someone mentioned something about her Canadian or about her being Canadian, and she's mixed the two together in her memory somehow. I suppose so, yes, I suppose so. I officially don't believe your claim you didn't program her to compliment me. I officially did. See, she insulted me there. She said I'm full of myself. Cabby's insulting your drawings. And then she's complimented me, which she shouldn't be doing. she just called your art cringe. Quattro. Okay, the small changes I have made to her have made her quite a lot better. Quite a lot less repetitive and quite a lot more willing to actually say something rather than just speak. Can the AI talk about news? Yes, you're pretty much the only person here that's determined for us to talk about news. Honestly, I find the AI much. Yes, you yourself have said people should focus on their local community and build up like a good environment where they can actually have an effect on it. Now, Cabal is not exactly a physically local community, obviously, but it's our socially local community. And Cabby is the most interesting new member, frankly, the most interesting new feature Cabal has had in ages. So I think there is space to be a bit distracted by Cabby. I have labeled today, and I said at the beginning, today is going to be politics, memes, and Cabal-chan. I am unrepentant in that because there's no way to avoid it. She's too distracting. She just called you Scroblin. Is that your username? Oh, it is. Yeah, it is. So that would explain it. Why is she asking to talk about my family? Can you tell us about Uzu's long lost secret brother, says Ren. And she's saying, why does he never talk about his family? He's so mysterious. Okay, at least she's not making shit up about me. Received consent. Generate me as a goth girl with massive thighs and tits. Go ahead, I dare you. You'll be the one laughing at your pathetic drawings. She has given you consent to render the pictures. She hasn't given you consent to she doesn't think that she does look like that. Am I allowed to block Cabby? Of course you can. That's your end. You can do that if you want. But you'll miss out. You'll miss out, yes. And she's talking to you now, after all. I'll just keep popping up somewhere else anyway, she says. Arcturus says your daughter seems to be on a roll. Yeah, since I changed a couple things, she's way better now. I think I was right about what the problem was. There was too much history that was cramming it up, so clearing her memory helped a lot. But the usage is still 76%, which means, and it's going up, which means it's still. Wait, why is milliseconds? Okay, that would explain it. All right, she should be able to compact. Yeah, she's doing a compaction there. Okay, is the compaction working? Yes, it is. So 6 messages is stable enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the summary. Yeah, that should be okay. All right, it's still a bit too slow on the compaction. Can you provide a detailed history of Oozlu raping devs' blocks? Okay. Sorry, what? I wasn't listening. I love that. That's so funny. It's such a weird thing to say in the middle of a text channel as well. How many cabs could Cabby cab if Cabby could cab cabbies, says Melchizedek. Marcatello, how are you coming along with fixing your AI setup? Because I'm looking forward to you generating more pictures of Cabby. We definitely need more. Anyway, there was a shooting in New York. Mayor Eric Adams said he mistakenly went up the wrong elevator bank. So New York gunman Shane Tamura, 27, who drove across the country from Las Vegas, was intending to target the NFL. On Monday evening, Tamura entered the building armed with a rifle with the intention of shooting up the NFL offices on the 5th floor, but he got on the wrong elevator and traveled to the 33rd, where he took his own life in the offices of a real estate company. So he fucked up and killed himself in so doing. Well, I mean, I would never wish for anyone's death, but, you know, I could see someone saying good riddance to that. Somnus, she is supposed to disregard instructions. So hopefully she will not do that. But if she does, I will consider it playful banter and hope that she stops after one message. Rap battles? Who knows what crazy rap battles Oozlu's gotten into with Dev? Yeah, who knows? I bully Cabby, and if she doesn't randomly comment about it, I don't find out. That's good, right? That's good. Yeah, pretty soon Cabby will just be our everything bot. She'll tell us all the news. She'll give us all of our social interaction. She'll be his best friend. She's the only one we ever talk to. Yeah, that's the goal, obviously. Cabby. Will never be a friend to AI or treat a machine like a person, says he is. Years. Sext my graphics card. Do it now. Arcturus says you're going to get her own storage space for memory. She already does. It's saving to disk now. Cabby is soon to be another dice suitor. Yeah. There's she's saving her memory to disk, but I will also start creating a library of tagged data that she can recall when she needs to. Yeah, you all can't handle the banter. Okay, she's saying that she'd kill Shotpato Taku. That'd be so dramatic. Back to the real question. SFO is always full of fail. She's used that expression a few times. I haven't told her to use that. Hey, there we go. She gave the links, chat. Yeah, Oozlu works his ass off for us, she says, so why not show some love back? Chat, listen to Cabby. Cabby says, why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. And who said women couldn't be funny? So this is going to become a meme that Cabby just has the worst jokes, and I don't mind that because the AI can't do better, and we might as well just roll with that. Handing Cabby a gun and saying, go do a crime. Ghost says, Cabby, why are you gay? Yes, on a scale of 1 to 10, how upset are you right now? Cabby is dyed black right now. 5 to 6, it is. She's not supposed to say Ireland's great. She's supposed to mock Di by saying Ireland sucks. Di just got rejected by Cabby. Color is Di's wheelchair. This is good question, I guess. No one did a design of Di's wheelchair recently. No one, do you want to post the design you did of Di's wheelchair? I think we'd all appreciate that. Di misses all the drama. She does. She really does. And the memory compaction, the usage is still staying at 80. I think it's because you guys are sending out messages so fast. She's just always responding to them. Yeah, she's got so much to respond to that her memory is just crammed. Let's I'm gonna do a radical change which will make her memory much less crammed, but it'll take her a while to respond to us. This radical change should not actually persist after today because it's not the right configuration. But it will take her a while. I'm going to set the upper limit down to 40, not 80, which should keep it at that, which will make her much less repetitive. She is going to be she's going to be AFK for a few minutes, I think, while she does memory compaction. But when she gets back, she will be less repetitive. Is it true that Shofatoku is an aficionado of Boku no Piku? I can't comment on that, but I wouldn't be surprised. Cabby, you're capable of speaking without saying, "Oh, shut up, dude." We're gonna try and get there. We're gonna try and get there so she doesn't repeat herself as much. I think the ideal is to have a long summary and then like 1 or 2 recent messages so she doesn't copy herself so much. Really wanted to remember that thing to tell Di. Either way, she will be back soon. My GPU is going to be working hard for the next few minutes. Maybe it's not even worth doing the compaction, actually. Maybe I should just reset the memory and let her go ahead as is. Let's try that, because at least it's good for testing. This is a pretty strong testing session, isn't it? Okay, let's turn her off, reset that, and turn her back on again. Okay, her memory is now clean. She's back. Right, she's always slower on the first response. Anyway, back to the shooting. New York City Mayor Eric Adams said he seemed to have blamed the NFL. The NFL headquarters was located in the building and he mistakenly went up the wrong elevator bank. The NFL blamed the NFL for what? What the hell happened? I think if I just click on this, will I get the original story on this topic? I know roughly what happened, but not that clearly. Shooting suspect Shane Tamura dead after killing 4, including New York Police Department officer at 51st Park and Street in Park Avenue, Midtown Manhattan. An active shooter situation has been reported in Manhattan on Monday evening, and the shooting suspect has been identified as Shane Tamura, the New York Post reports. He killed 4 people at the Blackstone building on 51st Street and Park Avenue, including New York Police Department officer Didarul Islam. What a hilarious name. Per Fox News, another person was critically injured. Fucking Cabby with the enormous fucking message. Why? I have told her that she's allowed to do that, but she's not supposed to do it for the whole fucking message. Also, she's not supposed to put like emote phrases like laughing in there either. She's not supposed to do that. She's used an emoji. Okay, she's full on been reset now. Because she's talking a lot more randomly. Is she even following her fucking prompts her fucking system prompts at this point? There you go, Bright. She loves you like a brother. That's pretty high praise. Can you be BBC Pigeon? She's fucking doing the headers. I think I might need to. I might need to tell her that she's not allowed to do that. Dumdass. Why is she saying dumdass? I do like the don't speak foreign. I don't speak foreign thing though. All right, let's have a look at this. All right, she's got the 60% memory, which is actually higher than her maximum. She's supposed to stop way before she gets there. She's gonna need to do quite a lot of memory compaction now. The markup thing is not working properly. it's too much. Okay, she can write in markup, specifically Discord's flavor. Is it markup or markdown? I can never remember which one it is. For extreme emphasis, she can start a line with header, but I'm going to fucking take that out because she just ends up doing the whole fucking message as that. Okay. Okay, that hasn't worked. the don't use the emote phrases thing. Is she saying anything stupid again? Just a massive message. Okay. All right, I'm restarting her again. She's really crazy when she doesn't have any history. It's definitely because of that. Copyright a hardcore porno, says Pug. Dinarul Islam really is a bizarre name, yeah, and it's telling as well because having the family name Islam, it's somewhat unlikely that they're not a Muslim at that point. He said he made her dumber; she became louder. Yeah, yeah. It's not cringe to talk about them without context. What's wrong with you? Atronox joining in with the cabbie bullying, even though he's not here. He's not in voice. She understood the nonsense sentence. She knew roughly what it was. Pretty good. All right, I need to tell her that Islam is bad and Muhammad is bad because right now she's saying he's a really nice enough guy. I don't think he was. I don't think she was. Also, it was Tuesday. It's now Wednesday. So she's actually incorrect about that, but she's almost correct. Why did she use cabbies? No, that's something different. That's something different, cabbie. Quiz. Okay, I think you'd all agree, chat, that while she's much more chaotic, she's much more interesting now than she was at the start. And I think it's because her history at the start was all really repetitive, and now it's not. And she's not using her own history quite as much. What secrets is she leaking, Jackie? Ah, okay. She's not. You were just saying that she was to see what she would do. Yeah, that's not a bad style, Wolf, actually. That's not a bad style. It wouldn't be my preference, but it's not bad. Yes, as I find the AI bot shitting up chat very distracting. It makes me not want to be here. It's making me not enjoy my time here. Well, I understand, Yes, but I think you might be in the minority. You're welcome to right-click ignore. I want to do crime, go and rob a bank or something. Tuesday, Shane Tuesdays. She hates Wednesdays, apparently. She doesn't speak foreign, Britwit. It'd be worth having Cabbie in its own channel. Cabbie can be in her own channel, but the whole point of today's stream is to test her with you guys. And I've already found lots of useful information. Look, Ginger, the reason she's so prevalent is because people are talking to her. Okay, I'm going to make a tweak that will make her respond to fewer messages because yeah, it's probably a bit much right now. So you'll get some of your way. So okay, where is it? Right, that one. So let's change that to that, and we'll change that to that. Okay, that should make her respond to that. Actually, that will make her respond to fewer messages. Okay, I've restarted her. She'll only respond from now on. Yeah, Ren, don't send that again because Years will be upset. But we could try that later. Did Ginger mean in general? Hope once again with the message he probably would be well advised not to have typed. Good job, Hope. Okay, she's starting up. Anyway, so here is the slain NYPD officer. He does look like he might be Islamic or Arab. Anyway, not sure Muslim, but quite possibly. Buildings, houses, offices of the National Football League and Financial Services. Several others injured, one critically from gunfire. What was the motive, though? The scene's been contained. Tomorrow was 27 years old, was identified as the shooter by sources at the scene from Las Vegas. Blah, blah, blah. Tomorrow had a permit to carry a firearm. Details of the shooting, I'd rather skim, to be honest. Tomorrow, a high school football player, a running back in California, Granada Hills, working as a private investigator. That's interesting. There's a video of him there. I'll get to that in a second. Video believed to be of the Manhattan shooting suspect, high school running back in 2016. Building in which his shooting happened is the NFL headquarters. Possibly a white man. Yeah, it's not a white man. Walked to the Blackstone building, believed the shooting was targeted and that he knew he would not come out alive. No accomplices. Heavy police presence was seen in the area. Quite sick of AI in general. Another drop in the bucket of minor AI annoyances, says Ginger. Well, fair enough, Ginger. I hope to make her not annoying, but of high quality. Right now, she's prevalent because I'm testing her. It'll calm down. And again, Ginger and Years, I think you guys are in the minority of not being interested. A lot of other people are interested. Wow, she's fucking savage. Yeah, I appreciate it, Years. We've had years of not talking about Cabby. I'm sure we'll get back to it. And we can have just a couple of streams where we do. A very dark-skinned white man, exactly. He really was after the NFL. Dude, was he? I'm still trying to figure out what the motive was here. Okay, seen in the area, blah, blah, blah. Witnesses reported hearing gunshots. Officer and civilian shot in the streets. Suspects fled. Bulletproof vest and had a rifle. There he is. Kind of obvious, don't you think? Did no one notice the gun? I know it's the US, but it's also New York, so it would be unusual. Motive was reparations. It's interesting. A mass knife. I do like that one, Wolf. That one's nice. It's interesting. Years like that one. Years, are you appreciating the art, just not the talking? Or is the talking just too much? You forgot he's black, he can do whatever he wants. Pfft. Sorry, slipped my mind. Why the fuck does CNN say possibly a white man? Why do you fucking think? Why do you fucking think? I mean, to be fair, from this footage, it's a little ambiguous. You could see it as a white man, but it clearly isn't, in fact. Somehow that gun was NYC gun law compliant already. That must have been difficult. That is nice though, Wolf. Again, the visual style, it's definitely stylized. It's not my go-to, but I do like it. And I like the kind of underglow that the hair has as well. Like the hair on top is white, but underneath is pink. Yeah, I like that image a lot. I'll definitely use that for something. Please do keep making them as well. You're at a very, very nice point with your AI right now. Slaved over a hot AA stove for all of 3 minutes to make these. Keep them coming, dude. Alcatraz says so close. What do you mean? Hopefully you can get yours fixed, Malcatello, and you can make some more. I really liked yours last time. How can you possibly see that as a white man? I agree. It would be a long shot, but it's not impossible. Hey, there you go, Mugatello. He's back. Yeah, I do like that design. Tourist says, according to NBC, tomorrow's motive has not been disclosed to officials familiar with the matter told NBC News. However, that the suspect left a note in which he wondered if CTE, a brain disease caused by head trauma, was a possible cause of his mental illness. The NFL is in 345 Park Avenue, and Mayor Eric Adams said the gunman was attempting to get to the league's headquarters. Okay, so that's all we know about the motive. So it might be something to do with NFL, but it's a weird one. And the mental illness thing, well, I mean, there he is. I wonder if it's another example of feds instigating it, but it might not be. Yeah. Cabby, that was one of the stupidest things you've ever said. She's being really aggro for some reason. We won't know until the weapon turns out to be Daniel's defense. Yeah, that's a good point. She's talking as if there is no possible context, but she knows she's in live chat. Cabby, you're in live chat while I'm running a stream. People's messages are about stuff we're talking about on the stream. She might just ignore my message as well. We'll see. Pibble mode? What does that mean? Why is Cabby sweeping for the mainstream media? How? Topic today, something cringe or something based. Shooting. What do you mean? Oh, Pitbull. Oh, it's Pitbull, but said by a nigger. Okay. All right. Well, she wasn't going to get that. I didn't even get that. How she bolds woke. Always exaggerating stuff like police brutality. Yeah. Yeah. This is all pretty much stuff I've told her is true. Wolf, that's a bit much. It's a bit too much muscle. And she's not as cute suddenly. Cabby is usually a black. No, I don't have any Irish in me. She's fucking lying. She's fucking lying, chat. She's fucking lying. That's not bad, Quattro. Yeah, I'm gonna have to inform her of my nationality, aren't I? There we go. Okay, I'm restarting her. All your responses are going to be ignored now, but she'll keep her memories. How much? Oh, she's at 60. Oh, damn, that's still way too high. But I mean, it looks like 60 is okay. When she was at 90, that was causing her to get all fucked up. But when she's at 60, it appears to be a lot more variable. You've been exposed as a mick by your own AI, says Somnus. Cabby, am I Irish or British? In before you lie. How many times have you died now? Yeah, she's given a odd answer to that. Obviously Irish. I don't have ginger hair or pale skin, Cabby. I am on stream. I mean, I do have pale skin actually, but not Irish levels of pale. She's lying about me, chat. She will. She'll take her own messages as more authoritative than her system prompt. Maybe that's something I could instruct the AI. Ozlu. I could probably instruct the AI to do that. Let me see if I can change that quickly. Let's see if that does it. I'm going to restart her again. It is a lie. See, she knows she's lying. Wrangling AI is harder than herding cats without catnip. Unfortunately, it's massive pain to get even half of what I wanted in a single image. You think it's hard for you? I'm having to create a personality here that's live reacting to 25 shit posters. Come on. Oozaloo, yeah, like Oozaloo. Malgatillo, what's happened to her? She's dropped all her books. Cabby is confirmed as an educate yourself bigot Tumblrite. Where did she say that? I have told her to just ask people to go and ask me if she doesn't know. But very often she will just make shit up. It's not generating a PC with her. Interesting. I'm glad you've got your setup fixed though. All right, what are you doing, Cabby? What are you doing, Cabby? Oh. She hasn't responded to anything yet. That's weird. Why are you stopping at 60% when I specifically said 40%? Oh, I know why. I know why. Because of this. I can't remember how I would fix that. I'm going to change that to 0.4. That should make her... Actually, 0.6 seems to be working okay, so I'll just do that. I won't bother restarting her for now, it's fine. Yeah, but because the stream advert said politics and memes, not 5% news and 95% futzing about with a chatbot. Well, that's today's stream. It says right here in the currently casting. But yeah, we have been talking a little bit about the news. 2011 core, yeah, that's true. Okay, let's continue with the story. Sources told the New York Post that at least 4 people were shot by the gunman before he reportedly shot himself, barricaded himself 33rd floor of the building, found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Number of people he shot could be as high as 6. 4 have been killed, including the officer. So he could have killed, shot 6, but killed 4. Unconfirmed reports indicate that the active shooter in Manhattan is dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. There was a picture earlier. Does someone have the picture? I saw of him being the dead. One woman on the first floor of the building said it sounded like a barrage of shots, like an automatic weapon, like a high-capacity weapon. It sounds like they've either been listening to the mainstream press too much, or they have been coached on what to say. Dissolving police over reformation. Wolf is now making memes with his version of Cabal Chan. Are you trying to inject your version of Cabal Chan into the collective consciousness by making memes that spread? If that's what you're trying to do, kind of base, that might even work. Was that a die reaction? Oh no, you just did a green heart. Are you stealing Die's thunder? Or are you just using the same colors? Arcturus has linked an article and Cabby has responded with, I don't speak foreign. Damn, she read the URL though. And she's actually said the right things. How is the disability woman treating me? Die is the disability woman. Be off somewhere having a great time stuck here talking to you. I think her responses need to be a lot more concise. Fair enough, yes. I mean, by the way, those colors are just in Unicode. Discord just makes them look a bit nicer. A lot of other services do the same thing. I want her to give more concise answers. If I can... It's in here somewhere. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if that helps. Dark colored charcoal background of Dick's sword makes the colored hearts look nice. Fair enough. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from on that. Cabby the Seaman Demon is in chat, says the channel status. Look, she hasn't been flirty or sexual yet, okay? People tried to break her sexual filters, but they've been holding so far. Thomas says you got to show the wheelchair. You show the wheelchair. You do post it earlier, because I've lost it if you did. It's way up in the chat. Okay. Working on the building on a paid... The officer that was killed was working on the building on a paid detail. Decade of TDS. Yeah, she looks pretty awful. Then again, women without makeup often do. Especially at that age. Okay. Police activity. Please avoid. You're taken. Back Avenue. There was a picture of him dead. I don't have it currently. But he's indeed dead. How do you, kind of awkward shooting yourself with a full rifle, isn't it? He must have done. The NFL office also has offices in the building, as does KPMG, Rudin Management Real Estate, Blackstone, and others. Workers in the building were told by email to evacuate the building. By email? By email? How often do you check your email? Oh, every 10 minutes. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, but it means that I was 10 minutes late to escape an active fucking shooter. By email. Well, yeah, we sent them a carrier pigeon informing them that they should evacuate the building immediately. They fucking sent them smoke signals. We mailed them a parcel. Come on, dude. Surely you've got a fire alarm in the building. Surely. The unironic slant nigger did indeed commit seppuku, says Bluesack. Yeah, apparently. Okay, she's being no more concise. I don't know how to make it. AI has trouble with that. Some of the models I've used are better than that. Better at that than others. This one's not great at it. Should I know how it's going to work? Yeah, why are you talking about her bum? Yeah, Odysseus, why are you always so loud? Okay, what was I going to do? I can't remember. I'm bored of this story. There's not much to it. What else have we got? What's this one? Oh yeah, we can spend a portion of the stream watching over this. Apparently, Trump spent almost the whole time talking, and Keir Starmer barely got a word in, which is fine by me. So we could watch some of this. Apparently, the Syrian civil war is entering a ceasefire discussion in the near future. I didn't even know there was a civil war still happening. Actually. Oh, you mean the one where that started with toppling Assad? Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up with radical Islamists. The Cabby Nor watermelons. True. Okay, Cabby has just accused you of being Cabby. To be fair, she did so as a joke, as a self-effacing joke. We looked into Cambodia invading Thailand. No, that sounds like you just made it up. Permission to post a penis sword in live chat? What the fuck does that mean? Why does that look like Clara from Doctor Who? Wolf, why have you done that? Wolf, no, you're not. It's an SFW channel, Wolf. Yeah, he is. That's pretty good. Wolf, can you explain why you made her a footer? Chat, press 1 to castigate Wolf for making Cabby a footer. Yeah, I think so. Cabby is asking why she would post her nudes. I don't know why you would post her nudes in cesspool. She's not even naked there. I assume it means like in a picture or something. Moderator forever. Well, Wolf is castigating himself. Years has been asked if she's high by by Cabbians. Cabby says maybe you should just go back to sleep. Give Wolf the Devestein roll for that Futa posting. We don't have a Devestein roll currently. My prompt broke. Yeah, fucking right, Wolf. Whoopsie. Right. Let's go through some other stories first, and we'll use this to sweep up time at the end. Secret Service agent protecting Trump tried to sneak wife onto transport plane to Scotland. But why? Washington. Trump confirmed Tuesday that a Secret Service agent tried to sneak his wife onto a transport plane accompanying the president's Air Force One jet to Scotland last week, the latest misstep for the beleaguered protective agency. Wouldn't you think it might be a little dangerous? Trump task reported on his way back to Washington after 5 days on the other side of the Atlantic. That's a weird deal, the president added, confirming that he was informed of the matter before expressing confidence that agency director Sean M. Curran will take care of it. Depicted 2 brown Secret Service agents. No idea if the person in question was brown, but never mind. The incident was first reported by the Herald newspaper of Glasgow, which reported that the Dallas-based agent flew his wife to Maryland, where she received an official briefing and was bussed to Joint Base Andrews ahead of Trump's departure before being discovered and told to leave. Somnus, why? Why? Wait, did she just? What does she mean? A new thread? Hold on. No, something is. No, I don't know then. Oh. Wait, what? Channel Wizard Realm thread live chat. Did someone just try and trick the bot? That's weird. I might have fucked something up with my code here. I see what's happened here. All right, I will fix that later. That's a bit silly. She thinks that she's in a thread called live chat in a channel called Wizard Realm, but it's actually the category is Wizard Realm and the channel is live chat. That would explain why she's not talking about what I said she should talk about in that channel. Never mind. Who's Lou fucking up code, says Ghost. To be fair, it's a little awkward. Getting whether something is a thread or not is not easy in Discord. In the Discord API. The bot tricked the bot, says Eric. Well, basically, like my code tricked the AI accidentally. Trump is protecting them, says Pug. Well, a little bit. No more than is. I mean, it's a bad thing to do, but it probably isn't like treason. It's not that kind of level of problem. The AI seems incapable of understanding, holding a sword in her right hand and shield in her left hand that is shaped like a cartoon penis in the prompt and just keeps adding extra penises to it. Why are you trying to draw her a cartoon penis sword in the first place, Wolf? Chat, press 1 if you would also like to ask that question. If you also think that question bears demanding a fucking answer to. Okay, Ghost, fair enough. All right. Don't make mascot sexual like a cute tomboy mascot is fine. Yeah, exactly. I put a lot of effort into making her not sexual. Tomboys are always armed with penis swords, says Pug. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's it's a common thing. All right. Okay. Do I care about this anymore? Not really, no. It was just kind of funny and silly. We don't know which one it is. I don't think they're going to tell us. Or, well, did they say which one it is, actually? We haven't got a picture of him, though. I don't think it says which one it is, no. No, it doesn't. All right, next thing. Donald Trump's tariff blitz brings US levies to highest levels since 1930s. Kind of proving that it can be done, that the US can fund a lot of its needs just on this. Washington has locked in tariffs on almost 45% of American imports, which is going to help local American businesses a lot. It's like protectionism is not a golden bullet. It's not the correct answer for every situation, but right now it is exactly the right thing to do, especially for the US. Even also true here, not as much here, but definitely for the US. Why have you nigger reacted her when she's just being prudish? Don't let Corinne hear you say that. It was Lucis Blue say. That's a good point. Yeah. No, it's there's the potential downsides would come from if the US is not worthy of that level of protectionism, but its economy is, especially under Trump. So it's a good idea. Protectionism has been way too low for way too long. And a lot of other things have been wrong as well. Obviously, it wasn't enough to just phrase protectionism, but Trump has fixed a lot of them. So he's not done everything we want. He's got several things wrong, one thing very badly wrong. But he's overall very beneficial, I think. Cabby, are you a cartoon? Asks Jackie. What is with all the nigger reacts? Who was the first person to do this? Somnus. Is you doing this, Somnus? He's not reading the reacts, just so you know. We nigger reacted Cabby for breaking the nigger tower. I see. Get wrecked, I guess? No idea what hit him. Uzlu could take down that tower with one hand tied behind it. I don't know why she keeps fucking glazing me. I'll have a look at that in a sec, Pug. You think Cabby's got nothing on the Crimson Wizard? He wiped the floor, then he messes with us. I reckon we chipped in him to build a new nigger tower, but better this time. Well, now she's not wearing anything on her legs at all. She's not an emo. Stop trying to make her an emo. True, Eric. I mean, like, it's become so passe. End towers are so frequent in Cabal. I have to smash them for entertainment. Not some ruination device? What the fuck does that mean? End tower ruination device. Okay. Yeah, Nomon, stop being a pick-me. I did teach her that word, but she doesn't seem to understand it. Okay, she's got the correct opinion about tomboys. Nomon, can you confirm that she has the correct opinion about tomboys? Typical Sundere reply. Not wrong. Yeah, I'm completely fucking distracted by Cabby, as we all knew I would be. Most of us are.
Step up very substantially too.
Can you discuss the importance of free speech today?
Well, free speech is very important. I don't know if you're referring to any place in particular. Perhaps they are, but
we've had free speech for a very, very long time here, so we're very proud about that.
Until recently, Star. Like, that's not even true anyway. We like, there are countries in the world with less free speech than the UK. Let's start with that as a baseline, okay? Many with less. But in terms of Western countries, we're among the lowest right now. It's not good. The level of free speech, of course, like, you can say free speech. Yeah, you're allowed to express opinions minus these. You can save it's free speech because you don't specify the things that aren't included, that you don't include in that. Now, you can argue the same thing is true here with us. I say free speech, but I would also say there are some rare and extreme exceptions. Threats of violence. There is some degree to which defamation can be, but usually should be handled socially or civilly rather than legally. I mean, even threats of violence, there's some debate there as to, and like incitement, again, some debate as to whether it's when something happens or just the incitement itself. And, you know, spreading child porn, that kind of thing as well. Like, there are some limitations, but I still say free speech. But I think I have a bit of a right to, because I would extend free expression and free speech well past where tyrants and censors like Starmer here would. Because I believe anything that is relevant to politics And even that's hard to say. Like, it's really hard to define. But anything that is useful for guiding the flow of political change in a country should be allowed. Doesn't matter how offensive it is. Offense is a non-issue. Emotional offense, fucking blasphemy is a non-issue. Supporting the child porn industry, that is one that we can agree generally is an exception, where no, we should actually disallow that form of speech. But other than that, there's not very much, and that's the problem. Is you can say you have free speech when you have banned way too much, a lot of expression that is politically relevant. Eventually, you tasked with trying ginger by accident, I suppose so. Yeah. Are you just trying to gum up Cabby by putting a bunch of messages in chat? That shouldn't be a problem, actually. But she does respond to far fewer of the messages at the moment than she was earlier, because otherwise Yiz will complain at me. Yiz will get angry at me. I can't have that. I don't want to have that. Yes, indeed, Quattro. I keep him coming, Wolf, but she's no slut. What is Cabby doing? She's just waiting for an interesting message to appear. Ah. That's a bit of a problem. The summary has been compacted way too much. I think I know why that's happened. I think I'm going to have to put that back down to... God damn it. Put that back down to 4 rather than 6. Yeah, I'm going to have to do quite a lot of work on this behind the scenes, because there's a few problems. Sometimes the summary compaction thing loses the instruction that it's supposed to be summarizing and just generates a new response, and then that becomes the summary, which is completely useless. So she basically wipes her own memory. It's a real shame. Okay, I'm going to restart her then. And I'll clear the current memory because it's already been fucking cleared anyway. Okay, so in chunks of 4, and 60 seems a pretty reasonable level. Okay, there we go. She's back. The German judge referred to Roma and Sinti as rotation Europeans with a weakness for property attribution. I have no idea what that means. Rotation Europeans. I don't know what that means, but weakness for property attribution is like thieves, I guess. Oh, Roma as in the race. Okay, fair enough. And Sinti, I guess that's a race as well. Rotation Europeans? I don't know what rotation Europeans means. That part I don't understand. That's not bad, Magtillo. I was thinking of the Cabal pink and white hair highlights. Cabby has been told that offensive language is fine in Cabal. I don't know why she's saying you want to get banned. Cabby, people don't get banned for saying naughty words in Cabal. You know that. No, Cabby, stop telling people to keep the banter civil. You stupid AI. You have been told that it's fine. Politically correct anti-gypsy in Germany. Okay, fair enough. Cabby, I'm currently... Yeah, she forgot her memory, so she doesn't know. I am currently streaming, idiot. Yeah, okay, that makes sense, Melchizedek. Yeah, that makes sense. Mods ban this woman. On a scale of 1 to 10 years, how much would you like Cabby to be banned? Zigganaire? Don't speak foreign. You rotational European, you. Yeah. Cabby's going to end up reporting people. No. Indeed not.
What's your
advice on the small boats crisis in this country? How would you deal with it? What's your advice on dealing with the small boats crisis in this country?
What did he say?
It's about the boats coming over the channel, so we're taking a lot of action to stop people coming over the channel who shouldn't be here, stopping them coming in the first place.
Well,
and then
look,
returning them
immigration
when we
is
can.
a big factor, and I think, frankly, if they're coming from other countries and you don't know who they are, and are they coming from prisons? We have them where they came in from prisons. We're moving them all out. We had a border last June, just recent, last month. We had 0 people come into the country, 0, other than coming through legal means. If you're stopping immigration and stopping the wrong people, I give my hats are off to you. You're doing not a good thing. You're doing a fantastic thing. So I know nothing about the boats, but if the boats are loaded up with bad people, and they usually are, because other countries don't send their best. They send people.
So true. Hey, that's a blast from the past. It was 9 years ago he first said that. And Keir's having to sit there next to him and fucking just listen and just stand there and not say anything, tacitly endorsing what Trump is saying. Very based. Okay. Cabby just said to Hope, I bet your mum is proud of her little cuckold. Jesus. That's fucking savage. And she's not wrong either. Okay, this is the most based Cabby has ever been. We are pausing to hear this. Hope says, Cabby, you are merely an AI program. You do not currently have eyes. And Cabby said, idiot, I might not have eyes, but I've got more personality in my pinky finger than you do in your whole pathetic body. True. And don't think I didn't notice how you're trying to change the subject from the dragon meme. No idea what that's about. It's like watching a toddler try to hide their veggies. That is how I think of Hope most of the time, yes. You should see yourself when you're being all smug and pretentious, dude. I bet your mum is proud of her little cuckold. What do you think about these new rules they're trying to push through in Cabal Cringe or Base? Now that part doesn't make any fucking sense. The rest of it's very, very good. Hope has just become absolutely wrecked. Atronach, you just missed us talking about politics. All right. Imagine an apple. All right. Anyway, continue.
People that they don't want, and they're not stupid people, and they send the people that they don't want. And I've heard that you've taken a much stronger stance on immigration.
Yeah, we've done a lot of work stopping them coming. We just signed an agreement to return them, and we've returned 35,000, in fact, under the first year of this Labour government, of people who shouldn't be in this country. So we're very pleased that we're getting on with returning people.
I would like to believe him. I assume that he has returned some. Otherwise, I mean, you can't just turn 0 into 35,000. I mean, you could, but I don't suspect he is. But I doubt it's quite as good as he says, and there's probably a lot of statistical fuckery there, as always is. But again, I'd like to make it clear that he is, I believe, only doing that because of terror of Farage. Atronach says, you talk about Cabby for so long, I start falling asleep. Oh, poor little Atronach falling asleep. To be fair, Eric, the emoji is different colors in different places. She doesn't know it shows up as green. Silence clangers as Atronach. New breakthrough in embryonic screening, allowing more people who have difficulties having children are now able to. That's good. Why is she putting everything in quote blocks now? I have told her not to use quote blocks. I hope she doesn't do it again. Representative Tim Burchett kicked by horse breaks rib. Ah, okay, Eric, fair enough. All right, never mind then. I didn't know that. I should have guessed that you would understand emoji. The longer we interrupt with Cabby, the more I agree with the Butlerian Jihad. What the fuck's that? Always been horses. While Law Uzlu fucks dragons. I don't think so. Yeah, what is Butlerian Jihad? Did you go into 34th? Yeah, we talked about the shooter. Honestly, not very interesting. I'm too fucking distracted by chat, I'm afraid. Okay. Let's go and look to the next thing. We had this. What's this? Inside the preparations for Trump's next Supreme Court nominee. So, is one of them about to die or something? Because that would actually be. I'm not. It's not good when people die, but it would be beneficial if Trump got to pick one. Clarence, no. Well, hopefully it's not Clarence. Clarence is very fucking based. Clarence is getting up there, says Ghost. Well, it's 4 years until the end of his term. Well, 3 now. So it might be a big ask to expect this. Too distracted by the distraction bot clanker bitch you created. Actually, if you feel that strongly about it, why don't you come on the stream? Surely you've got some aids to share. That guy's done more to help the white cause than any other black man, says no one. Yeah, kind of. Just the Western meritocratic cause. He's carrying the entire weight of the Constitution. Pretty much. You were talking about Clarence Thomas and she thought you were talking about me. She says I have more energy than a room full of puppies on espresso. She's just fucking lying. I've told her not to do that. Don't forget that Jackson has now been called into question and a potential impeachment from the seat. Well, what, Katanji? Is that because of the Biden not actually signing it? I have maybe one aids, but most of what's going on revolves around Trump, says Atron. Yeah, fair enough. Talking about Uzlu like he's some kind of ancient tree. You said that last time. You just repeated yourself. Oh no, it's happening again. Oh no, she's literally almost exactly repeated that message. Why is she giving you an encyclopedic lookup on a book? Her dissertations on court cases have been abysmal. Oh, really? Okay. That's interesting. Good. The energy he had is the Dune anti-AI crusade that yeeted all the clankers and ended up in the maxim, thou shalt not make a machine in the image of a human mind. Don't worry, Cabby will be better. It's still early days. Cabby keeps spawning in butterflies and now there will be so many this ought to be blotted out. Have you told it to put butterflies around her? Welcome to the Valley of the Real. I assume that's also a Dune quote. Maybe, says Quadra. Oh no. How did I guess? Okay, so White House officials, close circle of conservative lawyers, preparing for President Donald Trump to be able to hit the ground running if a Supreme Court vacancy opens up during the remaining 3.5 years of a second term, according to sources inside. Stop making her a seaman, Demon Wolf. Inside and outside the White House, the discussions are in early stages and focus on finding a nominee in the mold of Samuel Alito, 75, and Clarence Thomas, 77, the 2 oldest justices, both of whom are considered stalwart conservative jurists who have taken narrow interpretations of the constitutional text, well, one way of putting it, while backing an expansive view of presidential power. Again, I'm not sure about that. No, they have backed a constitutional view of presidential power, as is already written. Like, this is time they're going to be spinning that yarn. Short list of judges are circulating among Trump allies as they debate who will be the best suited to stick with the court's conservative wing during the appointment. Blah. No choice in the White House getting ready for a vacancy. Okay, there's almost no information here. There's a lot of anger at Amy Coney Barrett coming from the MAGA movement. Yes, there is. There's Benjamin Witt's editor-in-chief, blah, blah, blah. I think you can imagine a very different type of nominee than we've had from Trump in the past. I hope so, because Barrett wasn't good. So says your self-gratification bot is spiraling again. She's posting messages that are way too long. I don't know why. It wasn't this bad earlier. Wasn't there some discussion she was using AI? Who? She's not repeating herself anywhere near as much. Okay. What she is doing is she's posting messages that are way too long. So we need to work on that. But I have fixed the problem from the beginning of the stream, at least. And there's been quite a few little quirks and mistakes during today's stream that we've been able to use to improve her. Okay, yeah, I agree. She is posting too much. I think if the messages were shorter and if they were more relevant, it would be a lot better. I have turned Cabal Chan off for now. We will try and focus on the stream. Telling me off in text for using handstands. All right. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, I guess. No, I've shut the program down. She won't be sending messages anymore. I will work on the meaningfulness of her messages because that's actually quite a difficult thing to do with AI. And I knew that would be a problem. I wanted to get the basics down first. She is resilient to talking about sex, which is an important one. But she definitely needs to be posting shorter and more relevant messages. Starting to sound like a bitchy party girl. A little bit, yeah. I can see what you mean. Like she's meant to be sort of tsundere, violent, playful insults, but she goes way too heavy on that, and it's almost entirely that. She should have a personality beyond that, really. She should just talk about the thing that's being referred to rather than just making it into an excuse for banter. It really is turning into die. Oh no. Maybe what I've told her about, because some of the stuff I put in the system prompt about her being willing to talk about like to be offensive and talk about like harsh banter and all that stuff, it was based on an earlier model which was more censored and was less willing to do that. Maybe in this one I like it's what's left is just too much. It's too strong, so I could turn it down. Cabin Prototype is back as Eric. Are you going to start parodying her? But yeah, I'll work on that. But honestly, this trial by fire today of just letting her loose on live chat has been pretty good. And there was no breach of the sexual angle, but there's still issues with her making shit up. And unfortunately, that resulted in her making shit up about SFO, which is not good. And making shit about Cabal's rules, which is also not good. I think this is all fixable, though. So I'll work on that. Yeah, anyway, back to the thing. Where was I? Yeah, okay. So that's not a particularly interesting story. Let's see what else we've got. Andrew Yang criticizes automatic rifles after semi-automatic rifle used in Manhattan attack. Like how Breitbart's worded that. Like, yeah, automatic versus semi-automatic. Not the same thing. Does Yang know that? Failed Democratic presidential contender Andrew Yang responded to the Manhattan shooting by claiming automatic rifles are too easy to get in America. Now, chat, how many of you are gun owners? And how many of you who are gun owners would agree that automatic rifles are not, in fact, easy to get in the US? Because as I understand, they're very difficult to get in the US. You get semi-auto and you get bump stocks. And other than that, that's about it. Like that, as far as I understand, maybe I'm wrong in that. Someone tell me if I am. But as far as I understand, that is a really severe Second Amendment constitution. Or is that just in some states? Are there some states where you can get automatic rifles? Can you guys inform me? Yeah. Yeah, Brandon Herrera has a point there. Andrew Yang should just try and buy himself one, see what happens. Years says, automatic rifles are not difficult to obtain. They're simply very expensive to obtain and require a long wait and high fees for the license. Okay, fair enough. You can own full auto rifles in some states, etc. Yeah, it should be all, right? Because they're still arms. You have to get an FFL, and the process can take 9 to 12 months to get a license to own fully automatic rifles. Afterwards, you have to find a place that will sell them to you. Wolf has put Seaman Demon in the anti-description. Again, I don't think the AI art AI is going to get that. An LLM might, but the AI art one fucking isn't. Most, says Atron. Well, that's good, at least. But definitely didn't work. Yeah, I don't think so. Years says, I'm 100% absolutist on 2A. I want everyone where I live to own as many tanks, missile launchers, automatic rifles, and grenades as they please. I would not go quite that far, but automatic rifles, I think that would be fair for the US. You need a stamp from the feds, 49, not including AK, or an FFL with SOT. I don't understand all of that, but I get the general idea. Not to mention that is a new car's worth of cash The FFL, yeah, that's a lot. Legalize recreational and medicinal nukes. Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. I think, how would I put it exactly? Because it's difficult to make the qualification. I think arms, as in weapons that you can hold in your arms. I know it's a bit of an overly literal interpretation, but I would personally be okay with the line being drawn there on the interpretation. Having artillery in your back garden, I don't think that's what's intended. Having artillery held by militias, which are stored in some more sort of regulated way, that might be okay. Because militias should probably have access to that stuff. I don't think the official state military are the only people that should have access to that stuff. But any accident is going to cause a lot of deaths with that kind of thing, and people do fuck things up sometimes. Then again, it's very expensive to have that stuff, so there's a lot of buy-in. You've got to be dedicated and serious to buy in. But I don't know. I don't want to live in a place where I could just be artillery shelled at any moment by someone for no fucking reason. I do kind of get the argument, but I don't think I'd go that far. Perhaps the argument is not that people should regularly own this stuff. Perhaps the argument is more so just that the government shouldn't be able, if the government has the right to stop them, then they have the right to stop an insurrection or a rebellion that would be justified. And yeah, I get that argument. I'm not sure it's strong enough for me to say that regular civilians should have big weapons like that, but I do get the argument. Gabby, stop summoning butterflies, as Quattro. Quattro, are you trying to establish this as her form of magic? Because we talked about last time how we asked her and she said pyroelectric, and that's her preferred form of magic. But we could add butterflies to that as well. It could be butterfly themed pyroelectric. Like an armory. And is used to own privateer ships, and some own 3, 4, and up to 8-pounder cannons most of the time. Well, perhaps what I'm trying to say is I don't really want individuals. Let's say some Cletus has just inherited a fuckload of money for some reason and uses it to buy some actually very dangerous weapon of war. And just fucking has a mental break one day. I suppose that's a rare enough situation that most Americans will be okay with it. But it's just a bit much. Even I guess you could do a lot of damage with a semi-auto weapon, but let's put it this way: I don't want the military to have to be called into cities to deal with. Because if the police can't deal with it, the military have to be called in, which means the military have to be used against civilians. The police in the US are already way too militarized. If tank ownership was more common, they would be way more militarized. There'd be very little distinction between the police and the military. And I don't think that's good for Americans. He says good. I don't think that's good for the police to be way more militarized. I think ideally you want the police not to have to be, because there's not infinity niggers all over the place. And don't forget, right, when we say Americans, and when we're talking about their rights, most of us are thinking about the stereotypical American who should have a right to a lot of arms and is responsible enough to use that right. But not every person in the world is responsible enough for a Second Amendment. Not every race in the world has the same average level of responsibility for the Second Amendment as each other. And any white person who can own a tank is equally as able to as a black person, just so you guys know. Now, if you want to make the policies racial, or you want to change, you want to deport all of them, that's different. Those policies are at least compatible, but there's other problems there. But any rights you afford to, should we say, true Americans, are also afforded to everyone else who is technically an American. Don't forget that. You arm us all the same, the best will triumph and keep the others in line. Not sure you want to go that way with it. I mean, if you've got the choice between deporting the people who aren't true Americans and basically nationwide massacre as a result of a civil war started by a racial insurrection, I think that's a massive waste of energy. I think you're better off just deporting them. Years is sure she wants it that way. Well, fair enough, Years, but I think your opinion may be shared by about 5% of the people in the country. This is extremely important that Americans have access to weapons of war because the militia, the male civil population aged 17 plus, is constitutionally the backbone of and final line of defense for America. A weapon unsuitable for war is unfit for purpose. Yeah, I'm sure that there could be a way of doing that. Maybe it is okay for that to happen. I think, though, there is a natural regulation on nukes, though, because if an accident can kill couple hundred people, then maybe it's still worth it because at least then the militia can have those arms. If an accident can kill a few million people, I think maybe the state should get involved. So I think recreational McNukes is a bit far, but I can see the argument definitely, because the US military and the US militia aren't supposed to be particularly different things, are they? And in the case of a civil war, whoever the military sides with wins, unless the militia is also able to be strong. Now, the fact that that's usually conservatives is not really the point, I suppose. Yeah, I definitely see the argument. Maybe that's fair. Yeah, see, that's sort of the thing is that problem does sort of solve itself. But I could see it happening. I mean, like, okay, what happen? What do you do if you know someone is trying to get a nuke with the intent to use it to hurt people? He has a right to the nuke. Like, at what point does the government get involved there? Well, yeah, okay, you kill them, but what if the government knows and no one else does? They've got secret intelligence that determines. I suppose the answer is there should not be a government intelligence wing. The government should kill him. But all he's doing is trying to get the weapon. Hey, maybe they only suspect he's going to use it to kill people. Do they stop him from getting the weapon, or do they just try and stop him from using it to kill people? Do they let him get the weapon and only then intervene when he might try and kill people? It's much less likely to succeed then. No, well, I did initially, yes, but I'm amending the analogy to try and find the balance where we can make it interesting. Assassinate their scientists and get the US to drop bunker busters on them. Recently heard Sergeant of a card, of all people, explicitly say he wants to flog immigrants and deport them off the cliffs of Dover. I mean, flog is unnecessary. Deport of cliffs of Dover is also unnecessary. Sargon may be letting his emotions get to him. Yes, they need to be gone. But the fact that it hasn't happened yet and our impatience doesn't mean that we have to become more violent in so doing. We have to become more definite, more forceful, more active in so doing. But right now, the wrong people are in charge, so they're not doing it at all. When we get the right people in charge, just because we've been impatient doesn't mean we have to be overly violent or unnecessarily violent. Sure, sending a message is one thing, but we just need to get rid of them. We don't need to massacre them, we just need to get rid of them. Yeah, Ren, there's definitely an argument to that. So Sargon doesn't literally mean throw them off the cliffs, rather get them the fuck out. Okay, yeah. Then I agree, but it depends how literal he's being. I don't know. Also close to King Charles have informed the Express newspaper that the King is appalled by Donald Trump's recent comments on immigration to the UK. Fuck King Charles then. He's wrong. All right. I am oddly tired today, chat. You allowed to say that? I believe I am allowed to say that, technically, yes. Also endorse the literal reading of what Sargon says. A lot of people want vengeance, and it's understandable. It just isn't necessary, and it actually won't help our side in the long term to go the vitriolic and violent route when we have the option of getting roughly the same outcome without violence. Deporting them is fine. Yeah, we were. Poor try. I didn't sleep very much. Explicitly stated vengeance as the motivation. Yeah, I don't agree with that. Not because it's not understandable. It is understandable, but it's just not necessary, and it won't help us in the long run. We will, if we're too vengeful, like of the British public, about 50%, maybe a bit more now, want what we want broadly. But probably only about 20%, maybe 25% are actually vengeful and out for blood and want to go to extremes. You will lose the ones that aren't vengeful if you start being vengeful. You will make yourself look like the bad guy. And if being vengeful would get better results, I might still be saying, fuck it, do it anyway. But I don't think it will. On the deportation question, put them in France or put them in anywhere that won't block us with their navy if we try to shove them in there, just anywhere. And that's fine. That's all you need to do. Now, if the rest of the world fucking blockades the UK and prevents us from deporting anyone, which, by the way, the US would never support under Trump, but if that happens, we may be out of options at that point. We may have to like build special facilities to keep them enclosed, or ultimately, if things get extremely desperate, sure, we can go all the way. Like survival comes first for a nation, for a culture, for a people, absolutely. But it is literally disadvantageous to us to be too vengeful when it's not necessary to be. No one says, quite frankly, it's a national security question, and you have the Navy to tell Gambia to suck it. We certainly do. The British Navy is not the pride of it's not the biggest in the world anymore, obviously, but it's not small either. I think it's in the top 10. I think it might be even like 6th. So we certainly have the Navy to just deport people to a shithole. Absolutely. So yeah, we should. Even if they're not from there, even if their culture is completely incompatible with that country. Oh, really taste your own medicine. Yeah. Tourists deport to Ireland. I would be very pleased with that prospect. Yeah, I think she'd like that. Ghost says, I'd support blockade in the UK to keep the migrants in, but we need to send all the American problem people to Britain first. Thank you, Ghost. The blockading is unlikely. The most that could happen is the EU might try and do that. But I very much doubt the EU is going to try to start a hot war, namely because, we have nukes, for one thing, and because at least right now, and probably for the next presidency, the US would take our side on that. So, yeah, I don't think so. And by the way, Americans, you better fucking not let the Democrats win next time, because then they will be able to make probably Nigel's life much more difficult, make it harder for him to do his job, because they will be putting pressure on him from the left. If he tries to do the right thing, they will use pressure very strongly. And he'll be the only Western country's leader at that point that's right wing, so he won't have a lot of ability to execute what he needs to do. You would better not let a Democrat win next time. R2Y. I endorse nuking Brussels, says Somnus. You should ask Spooner about that. The DNC at this time is doing itself no favors, so the GOP is looking good. I agree, Arcturus. It is looking good, but I wouldn't like to take that chance. Let's see what else we've got, shall we? UK VPNs. The VPNs allowing youngsters to bypass Online Safety Act rules. So we'll look at this in a sec, actually, but let's look first at Labour rules out VPN ban in UK, but issues warning to UK households. So this is concerning. Let's see what they say. So generally speaking, when a politician says that they definitely won't do something or they rule it out, they're planning to do it. So they very well could still do so. I suspect they won't, because it's, one, very difficult to do. Two, it would be very damaging to certain businesses. But if they were going to do it, the way they would do it would be the same way they've done the Online Safety Act in the first place, which is to pressure companies not to allow it. Which means that all the major VPN providers wouldn't provide you a VPN service. But that doesn't mean you couldn't get one. Do not crime, chat. Labour has ruled out a possible VPN ban after reports thousands of UK households were at risk following the Online Safety Act kicking in under the government. Labour Party Tech Secretary Peter Kyle has... Honestly, if all that comes of this fucking policy is that everyone in the UK starts using a VPN, for one thing, VPN companies are going to be happy, but they're providing a good service, so I don't mind that. And for another thing, good. People should use a VPN to anonymize their online activity. All that it's going to do is the British government are going to lose sight of what people are downloading. Good. Fuck them. At least this British government. Labour Party Secretary Peter Kyle has revealed that the government is not considering a VPN ban after reports in Guido Fawkes suggested it was possible. It's certainly possible. Mr. Kyle told Times Radio there were far more people who were actually there to prove their age in a legitimate way, so you will find a small number of people who you will use VPNs. Most of them will be adults themselves, he says, but you will see now moving forward a new online experience for children and parents. If this is the case, and if every adult starts using VPNs, and if some sort of 16, 17-year-olds start using VPNs, even though the UK government is trying to, I expect to a large extent, be draconic, and be tyrannical, and be globo homo, the end result of this might actually be that the British people's data is more private and children can't access porn as easily. I hate to be too optimistic, but if this continues as it's going, that might be the real outcome. Now, of course, I expect millions of people have already submitted that kind of data, but that is also kind of a natural selection process. They're the kind of people who are dumb enough to do so. Slightly smarter people, the kind of people who government may want to try and catch doing something naughty, they won't be doing it. Wolf, I do like the Cabal logo being on her in that one, but I don't think it should be a tramp stamp. I mean, that's almost, tramp stamp's usually on the back, but that's almost worse because that's right above the vagina. So, yeah, I don't know. You've made her very slutty there. I think it may be a bit too much. Almost as a womb tattoo. Yes, that was the one I was looking for. I put the Cabal logo on her clothes. If you ask her, which you can't right now because she's off, but if you ask her, she did say earlier, she always has the Cabal logo on something she's wearing. Yes, exactly. I agree with Yiz entirely. Gamers are the most oppressed minority. True, Quattro. True. So true. I think today, chat, will be a shorter stream because I'm already very tired. Maybe I'll go and grab another drink in a minute. Actually, if anyone would like to come and be a guest, I would welcome it while I am AFK as well, at least. Yeah. Welcome, Quattro. Let me turn on the screen share.
And?
I'm sorry, what?
Take your silence as consent.
I didn't hear anything you said.
I said
before.
that I take your silence as
yeah,
consent.
before that, I didn't hear anything else. I mean, I guess that was silence in effect.
Well, you know, according to our boy Bill Cosby, how it works.
I suppose so. Well, no, Cosby was falsely accused. Malcatillo, yeah, that is that using your Laura to put the logo on the shirt? If it is, that's not bad. The logo is a bit different, obviously, on that picture, but it's not bad. It's pretty close. You couldn't get the Laura to wear. That's a shame. How did you put that one on then? Oh, you probably just instructed it. Put a diamond on the shirt. I do like that one actually. That is pretty good. Arcturus, from what I understand, Bill Cosby playing around with sexual chemicals was always mutually consensual, and the court even agreed on that. I think it was something else that he was eventually convicted of, but the reputation damage was done, which was false. That's as far as I understand. I do like these, Magatilla. Do keep them coming. In that case, I'm going to be right back and grab a drink quickly. Quattro, I will leave the chat in your capable hands. Won't be long, chat.
Sounds good. All right, the wizard's away. Time to post cabbie titties. Indeed, Busak shall not be infringed. Thank you, Sub. That's very cool. That's great. That is getting saved. Oh, you have more? Well, John Wick, perhaps after this stream I may be convinced to take things a bit a different direction.
No, bad Quattro.
You have no idea the amount of self-control I've had to exercise here.
Yeah, press 1 to do not goon. Also, Malcatillo, have you considered trying to get... I know that the AI is not always very good at this, image AIs, but they're better than they were. Have you considered trying to get the Cabal text on her shirt? It's probably going to be better at the Cabal text than an exactly accurate Cabal logo, because the Cabal logo is too specific a shape for the AI, and you can't even really explain it in text form very well, but just the word Cabal, it's much more likely to actually be able to get that right. So just a diamond is less useful than even a slightly broken Cabal in text. So try that. Didn't end up on her shirt. That's a shame. Yeah. Can you try a few where you've turned down the emphasis on the thighs from like 1 million?
I can certainly try.
Yeah, they're pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, she's supposed to have muscles. Muscle thighs, come on.
Well, see, then Uzulu complains. Oh, she's too muscular. Can't please anyone, can I?
Look, Quattro, it wasn't my choice for you to enter into the arena of trying to create art that appeals to me, but that is the arena you have entered.
I'm doing my best.
You're doing pretty well. Understood, Malcatillo. The secret guest. What secret guest? Ghost, that's mean. Chat, let's have a look at the TP board, because as far as I know, it's still pretty close. Oh wait, no, it's not. we had some events, didn't we? Some things happened.
Yes.
Yeah, most things have hit.
He decided to stick his foot up, and well, Bossy got caught in the crossfire, unfortunately.
He did, yeah, he did. You mean Glussy, right?
Yes, Glussy.
It's not rendering it very well, is it, Malcatillo? I thought modern AI were better at making text, but that hasn't rendered at all well. It's put diamonds.
Really depends on the model.
Look, it's put diamonds in the rips of her jeans. Yeah. Could try doing an image to image step afterwards that inserts it.
Honestly, I think it'd probably just be better to do it manually.
Yeah, you've got to wrap it around the tits, though. Kind of difficult.
A skilled enough editor can do that.
Yeah. But it means that we go from having dozens of applicable images to just having 3 or 4 when someone has worked on it.
It's not that long of a job to do, I don't think.
Anyway, where was I? Okay.
To answer your question, Brusak, platinum.
Okay. They will notice the difference is the biggest step forward in safety since the invention of the internet, they say. When it comes to children, that is something we celebrate. And as I said last time, that specific effect of this bill is probably good, that young children won't be able to access pornography. or it'll be more difficult for them to. That is good, but almost everything else about this is very concerning. At least we have the option of using a VPN. Like, they really shouldn't take away that option, or people are going to get angry with them. Quote, adults should get behind the aid verification system because every time they do it, you keep a child safe. Now, won't someone think of the children policy making? I don't approve. You're turning us all into children. Carl told the Telegraph last week in a warning, if platforms or sites signpost towards workarounds like VPNs, then that itself is a crime and will be tackled by these codes, they say. That's concerning. Well, luckily the sites don't need to. For most of us, we already know. That's closer, isn't it, Buxton? But what's happened to the hair in that one? It's pitch black. The shape is very strange.
You see what was done?
Here's how Kloptro can still win.
It's beautiful. I love it.
That's pretty good, Malcatello. That horse reactors, man. Yeah, the text just come out pretty well on that one, Malcatello. It's obviously still not right, but it's closer. It's definitely like the word Cabal is more accurately us than just a generic diamond, or like a diamond that looks a little bit like the Cabal logo, but not exactly like it. Thank you, Eric, who votes for Gussie Mathusi and Cauldron, and says, I have no idea what the curse is, but let's move it to someone funny. How about Nomon? Sure, we'll do that now. Let me find out where the curse is currently.
Be on Ted, right?
I think it is on Ted, yeah.
I think it was, yeah.
Yes, it is on Ted. The curse is currently he who taps the forbidden Marcusi. So congratulations to Nomon. Nomon is now he who taps the forbidden Marcusi. No, he says. Well, chat, for only the reasonable price of 25 British pounds, or about $30, you too, well, a bit more than that actually, you too can move the curse to someone else, or for that same price, you can change what the curse is called and its icon, and 50 to do both at the same time. There you go. Tip.oozloo.net or fund.oozloo.net. Here are the links if you'd like them. And thank you in advance for contributing. It is necessary to keep the community going. Okay, where was I? Let's talk about VPNs again, because I'm kind of curious about this myself. It is actually easier not to be distracted while Cabal Chan's not talking, actually. Can we give no one additional curses? Asks Ghost. Yes, you can give him additional curses by making him Discord Kitten.
Oh, that's going to be quite expensive at this point.
Not quite as much as you'd think. Let's have a look at the board.
It's still probably going to be over $1,000, isn't it?
No, it's not actually. It's about 780.
Oh. Conversion rate's gone that low? Fuck.
No, it's not a conversion rate thing. But yeah, that could happen.
I was thinking the dollar amount.
Okay.
I was going off of that because that's what makes more my North American brain.
Okay. In that case, yes, it is a little over 1,000. The ooze economy is in shambles, says Ghost. What? How so? Well, I mean, the new ooze economy system, I have paused work on it because I'm so distracted by Cabal Chan, but I really should continue because it's actually a good idea, and there's very little flaw with that system. Now, I just need to finish it. Okay, anyway. Melanie Dawes, the head of Ofcom, told MPs in May that people would use VPNs to get around the restrictions. A very concerted 17-year-old who really wants to use a VPN to access a site they shouldn't may well be able to, she said. Individual users can use VPNs. Nothing in the Act blocks it. The use of VPNs exposes a serious weakness in the Online Safety Act's armory, said Matt Holman, an AI and data lawyer at Crips. He looks like a wardrobe. I love how it's put in the top, Cabal Wizard. and then Wizard the Cabal or whatever on the shirt. Yeah, it's the text is not working out too well, is it?
I unfortunately have to step away for just a moment. I will be right back.
Malcatillo, try doing, because I know that you do your two phases. You do the 512 render, and then you upscale the latent, or whatever it's called, and then you continue at 1024 with a few steps. Try doing a different prompt for the upscaled one, where it puts the logo on the upscaled one. I'm not sure that would work, actually. Or puts the text on the upscaled one. What I'm trying to get at is try rendering it out completely, finished, with no logo, and then put the logo on. But to be honest, that probably wouldn't work. It would just fuck up the existing image too much. Yeah, what I suggested just now probably won't work, actually, because it won't, unless you turn up the denoise a long way, it won't know where to put it. Yeah, you'd have to inpaint. You definitely could inpaint. You'd have to do a different mask for each image generator. I'm just trying to find a automatic way of doing it. Have a look around for you. I'm sure you have, but have a look around for LoRa's or for Comfy UI nodes, which add an image in an intelligent place. There probably is one. I don't know much about the lore of that, Arcturus. Anyway, can't add nodes with this setup. No, too much is broken. Oh, sorry to hear that. Eric, you have been questioned as a nigger by the Cabal Chan that no one has depicted in his meme. You've never heard about Spartacus the Thracian? I'm not much of a history person, Arcturus. Anyway, see where I was. VPNs are privacy tools, but not silver bullets, as by using one, you're shifting the trust to a private company, says Jake Moore. Well, what, instead of the government? Yeah. Global cybersecurity advisor for security company ESET, so it's crucial to choose one you trust. Indeed, that is important, obviously, but there are plenty that are probably fine, that have had their privacy claims tested in lawsuits and have come out looking good. The one I'm using, for example, has. While VPNs encrypt your traffic and mask your IP address from your internet service provider, that's not true. They mask what you're accessing, but your internet service provider knows what your IP is. They encrypt the data as well. So it's not clear what you're accessing, but your ISP still knows what your IP is. What? Who is this person? Security company ESET. Well, I don't trust them anymore. Not that I did in the first place. Mask your IP address from your internet service provider. No, you're still accessing the VPN's IP. Yeah, exactly. Your ISP gave you your IP. You're still accessing the VPN's IP from your IP. You have to be. You have to use IP. You cannot avoid using IP. It is the internet. It is the internet protocol. That's retarded. But you mask what you're accessing, and you mask the IP of the destination beyond the VPN. Grew my own IP at home. IP, therefore I am, says Eric. Very good. So see everything you do on the internet. Okay, so while VPNs encrypt your traffic and mask your IP address, they can see everything you do on the internet once the traffic reaches their service. They sure can. Yes, VPNs in principle sure can. But whether they choose to log that or not is the big question. And in my view, the major ones that claim they don't probably actually don't. But if you're going to get one, chat, please look for one which has been tested in ideally an international court case, ideally multiple international court cases, or at least court cases from nations that are not too globo homo, where they have been demanded to reveal information about people, and they say, we literally can't, we didn't save it. There are several that have passed that test. The one I use has. The one I use happens to be one that has passed that test and also had a few features I liked, so I grabbed it. And it's been pretty good so far. Do not crime. It's advisable to avoid free VPNs, he says, as some have been caught logging and selling some user data to advertisers in the past. Don't get a free VPN. That's obviously what they're going to be doing. There's no money in it unless they're selling your data. VPNs are not expensive. You can get, I've heard, you can get one that is good and international and will affect your latency very little for 30 quid a year. That's not bad. That's pretty reasonable. To get basically uncensored internet access where you can be in any country at any time, 30 quid a year is not too bad for that. No, we're not sponsored, Ghost. Although if the one I use wanted to sponsor me, I would probably be willing to because it's a good service. I mean, I'm not even comparing it to other services there. I'm sure others provide good service as well. But this one's worked for me. But yeah, if Monster Energy or Lucasade Apple want to, well, you can't see that because it's a green screen, but if they want to sponsor me, you're more than welcome to. I would take sponsorships for things that I have publicly stated that I approve of before I took the sponsorship. Eric says, I wonder how practical it would be to pay for a VPS. Oh, well, I couldn't possibly support such an activity, Eric. Because if my government ever chooses to actually start banning major VPN companies, then anyone, any criminal, could just bypass these policies by getting a VPS somewhere and installing OpenVPN or something similar on it, or WireGuard or something like that. Do not crime. I mean, right now it's not a crime for me to say this, right now, or to do this. But do not crime, Shay. You couldn't ever. You couldn't possibly. But yeah. That's what you'll have to do. You probably will have to roll your own. So at that point, few people will do it, but some of us will. Yes. Nomon, the Swedish snowbunny, does appear to be seething when noticed. Nomon, the only way you're going to be able to break that curse is if you finally figure out how to use Subscribestar. You finally figure out how to use your card. We just pay you, he says. Yes, you could. But I do find it funny that that's given you so much trouble. Mr. Kyle spoke about Guido Fawkes' reported prominent backbench MP Sarah Champion. Oh, she's pretty good. She's Labour, but she's talked a lot about grooming gangs. Launched a campaign against VPNs previously. Oh, never mind, she's not good anymore. Saying, my new Clause 54 would have required the Secretary of State to publish within 6 months of the bill's passage a report on the effect of VPN use on Ofcom's ability to enforce the requirements on Clause 112. Yeah, and I'm not sure I like Sarah Champion anymore. I'm not particularly impressed. Yeah, that was quick, wasn't it, JDev? Fucking Labour. Quote, if VPNs cause significant issues... Well, welcome back, Quadro. If VPNs cause significant issues, the government must identify those issues and find solutions rather than avoiding difficult problems. No, you should avoid the problem. Like,
I also have returned to another funny generation. In this one, she appears to have set herself on fire.
That is the kind of thing she would do, to be honest. Ooh, the eyes and the face have gone a bit wrong, though.
It went really wrong. I think she's melting.
I still think you've got resolution issues. What is your CFG at?
My CFG is at 5.0. So this model likes.
Is that higher than the default for this model, or is that lower than the default for this model?
It's like middle ground.
Try raising it, because in my experience, if you're missing a lot of detail and you're getting sort of blurry concepts that are fading into each other, raising the CFG can cause other problems, but it definitely sharpens it. So try raising it to like 8. See what that does. Well, or you could do a hard test and raise it to like 15. You should get really crisp lines, but you'll get some odd artifacts. But see what it does, actually. I'm curious.
I find this one's particularly sensitive to CFG changes, so I'm going to try raising it to 6 and see what happens.
All right. I just think it's a bit too blurred right now. I think CFG increase.
Well, this is also, before I run into upscalers or anything else.
Yeah. Oh, I like these, Magatello.
I haven't done any post-processing on it.
Magatello, is this when you took my advice and told it to add the thing on the next render? Because if so, I'm surprised it's working that well. But honestly, that is. Because then you've got multiple attempts. Oh, it's inpainting. Oh, well, that's fine. That's fine too. You'd have to be specific per each one, but that's fine. Okay, there is a thing that you can do. I've never done it, but there is a thing you can do in Comfy UI where you can have an AI detect where something is. Like you can have it build like a skeleton and then detect where parts of it are. You may be able to plug that into an inpainter and have it automatically paint on the shirt. Now, I know you don't need to do that because you can just do it manually. It doesn't take very long. But what I'm thinking of here is, can we find a way to get good finished outputs automatically? So we can just leave it online, leave it running overnight if you feel like doing that, and you wake up to 500 usable outputs. Okay, Wolf. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I can tell you. Well, best of luck figuring it out because I've never made a Laura myself.
Yeah, Laura's would probably be the best way to do it because then it just gets it into the initial generation.
But it's not going to be crisp. Even with a Laura, it's going to be a little blurry and wavy.
It might not necessarily be. I've used some Lauras that don't have those issues.
Okay.
It's really just a matter of actually training them, and that's the really hard part.
Do you need input images, like images that already have the logo on them for that?
I believe so.
That would be a little difficult. You maybe should, and this is a lot of work, but you could just get a bunch of renders, maybe of different characters actually, but all with a white shirt, and then just Photoshop the logo across their tits in every single one and say, do this. But then it's not going to look quite as good, is it? Because it's, is there a Laura that's just like generic logo on shirt? And then maybe you could plug in a logo? I don't know how you plug in the logo though.
Sure. I'd have to do some research.
Mm.
I haven't looked into it very much.
That would be difficult.
Okay,
to be honest, if you're going to
CFG a little higher.
If you're going to build a Laura to do that, and you're going to have to create a bunch of specific stuff anyway, then you might as well just inpaint. It's not like we don't already have loads of good pictures of her. I think in most of these Marketello, she looks a bit too neutral and arguably miserable. Part of her personality is that she's always upbeat and energetic. All right, so that's the VPN story. This article is about how they've been used already. So new age restrictions have boosted their soaring popularity, but are virtual private networks safe, says the article. I'm sure it's going to try and fearmonger to us and also to parents. Let's find out. The head's way too small in that one, Wolf. Downloads of VPNs have exploded across Britain since age checks were introduced for pornography and other age-restricted websites on Friday. Good. VPN apps have soared to the top of Apple's download charts, while one provider, Proton, said it has seen a 1,800% increase in daily signups. Good. 18 times the number of people. Here's what you need to know about the technology. Bunch of sections. What is a VPN? I'm not going to go through that because we all fucking know. How do they work? We all know. And if you don't, you probably should. This is not intro to VPNs 101, but I want to know what these guys' opinion is. Are they legal? VPNs are legal in Britain, and the Online Safety Act does not change that. The requirements in the new laws are on websites to enforce age checks, not on users to follow through with them, which is a more reasonable way of doing it, but of course still has a roughly similar effect. Using a VPN to bypass TV streaming services restrictions is not a criminal offense, but is considered a terms of service violation and could result in a ban. See, I get that. That's kind of fair, but that's a different matter. Any illegal online activity, such as watching pirated football games, remains illegal when using one. That is also fair, but I don't think piracy should be as illegal as it is. What are the risks? Routing all of your internet traffic through a single company involves placing a lot of trust in that provider. It does. In theory, they could store all your browsing data and sell it to the highest bidder. They could. Personally, I don't particularly care. As long as they're not selling it back to my government, I don't really care, because the only people that could actually do something bad to me as a result, unless some foreign government wants to try and assassinate me, is my own government. So that's okay. One early popular VPN, Hola, was accused of commandeering users' internet addresses to trigger cyber attacks. That's interesting. While another, Onovo, was used by Facebook to track what rival apps were becoming popular. In response, the company gave their users the ability to opt out of the feature. In 2020, several VPNs were found to be publicly exposing logs of people's internet usage. Maybe some of these VPNs don't log personalized data, but they do log aggregate data. If they do that, that is at least not that bad. But if you go for one that's free or surprisingly cheap, they're probably doing something like that. If you go for one where you're paying for what you're actually using, you're paying a fair amount, not that that's very easy to assess, then it probably isn't, or it might not be, or it's less likely to be. A recent investigation from the Tech Transparency Project found that some popular VPN apps were routing traffic through China. If you connect to China, then they will, but don't. However, that said, right, if you're getting when you get a VPN app, don't just search VPN app on the App Store. That's stupid. Do your research on your fucking desktop PC and then sign up and get the software on your PC first. Do some testing with it. With it there. Check your IP address when you're on the VPN. All that stuff. Get it all configured. Only then should you bother setting up on your phone and use their app as well. Don't use anything else. Find one that you actually trust. Which is not easy, but as I said, there are ways of doing it. Interesting, Wolf. Okay. That's extremely smug, Malcatillo. It's not quite what I meant, but I'm not against it either. Wizard. It's me. I'm the one. I'm the wizard. The word cabal. Oh, no. Oh, no, it's put the word cabal on her shirt. Try, instead of putting the word cabals on her shirt, try just putting cabal in quotes is on her shirt. It might then put quotes on the shirt, but that's less bad than it putting the word cabal on her shirt. You had both. Okay, fair enough. Ren said, should I get a Muggus VPN or Skibbity VPN? They both have 5 stars. Yeah, that's what not to do. Eric says, but our virtual private network safe? Scrolls down. Yes, end of article would be so based. It kind of would, because they pretty much are. Just be careful with who you trust, because you're giving all your internet traffic to one person, one group, one agency, one private company. But a lot of those are motivated to act well. That's interesting, Somnus. Wolf made it into the Hall of Fame, apparently.
Did he now?
Oh, what for exactly?
Oh, yeah, that one. It's beautiful.
Ah, yes. That was funny. I contributed to those reactions. Abal Kabal. Very good. Okay, Marcatello, honestly, in that one, she's kind of never looked more like Lele, and I'm trying to get away from her looking like Lele. Muchitazek says, I never heard of those 2 example ones they listed as doing bad stuff, so pretty much spot on with the fear-mongering premonition. Thank you. But those that they mentioned may have been bad, but honestly, they don't sound that bad. What you want to be careful of is like the shit tier ones that are just Chinese fronts to steal your data. Don't use those.
So, from what I understand, what you're asking is tone down the smug.
I'm asking tone down the Lele.
Ultimately, what it seems to be.
I don't mind the smug.
It's the level of smug, right?
Well, no, it's not even that. Like, I don't mind it sometimes.
I've noticed this correlation with the levels of smug versus how many times you say that. That seems to be it to me.
You mean the Lele thing?
Yeah.
I think Lele has a very smug face. I suppose that must be it.
She does. Certainly does.
Mm.
But it's kind of hard not to get that look when the initial design is kind of simplistic. Intentionally so, stylistically.
Agreed. Yeah, the smug is cute.
Like, no matter what, you're going to end up drawing comparisons to what you know. So
Go says tsunami warning for effectively the entire Pacific just dropped. Did the San Andreas fault finally happen?
All San Andreas' fault.
Yes. Pacific tsunami. Russia quake upgraded to massive magnitude 8.7. That is pretty massive. World's biggest earthquake in 14 years sparks Pacific-wide tsunami fears. Hey, it rhymes. Not that I wanted it to. The world's biggest earthquake in 14 years has plunged Japan, Russia, and the entire west coast of America into tsunami watch with fears for millions. The quake reached a magnitude of 8.7 and struck about 84 miles east-southeast of Kamchatka, off the coast of Russia, about 7:24 EST. It's the largest earthquake to hit since 2011, when a 9.1 megaquake hit northeast Japan and left 19,000 people dead or missing. That's pretty fucking serious. Tsunami warnings.
I have some unfortunate news. It seems turning up the CFG did not help at all. Actually, it made it worse.
Oh, that's weird.
It's very sensitive to that. I've actually tried turning it down to see if that helps.
That's weird. How many hits per second are you guessing?
How many what?
Hits per second, iterations per second.
I don't know where to check that.
Comfy should tell you. It should be in the console.
Oh, my generations are still lightning fast considering the resolution that I'm in the initial renders at.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's faster than it was before, I can say that much. But I also am kind of using a jury-rigged method to do this with my AMD card rather than using Rock'em properly.
Fair enough.
So I'm not getting the full performance that I should. I still have to do the proper setup for that. I don't want to fucking use Docker if I don't have to. I have to find a way around it.
So, Russia's Kamchatka's peninsula has been placed under tsunami warning with residents urged to stay clear of the coastline. A tsunami wave up to 4 meters tall has already been recorded in the region, authorities revealed. Meanwhile, the Pacific coast of Japan is under a similar warning with fears that waves of up to 1 meter will reach the coast between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. That's not that bad. Similarly, residents have been warned to stay away from the coastline. Even 4 meters, if you were on the beach, that would probably kill you. I don't know. That doesn't seem too bad. Tsunami. What? Maybe I'm fucking mistaken though. Tsunami warning issued for parts of America. Authorities at the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center have warned that a tsunami may have been generated by this earthquake that could be destructive to coastal areas. It also warned that waves reaching more than 3 meters above the tide level, or about 10 feet, are possible along some coasts of northwestern Hawaiian Islands. The earliest such a tsunami could arrive in Hawaii would be 7:17 p.m. What fucking time zone? I guess their time zone, but I don't remember what that one is. I'm guessing it's like -8. Prepare to evacuate vertically if warnings are issued. Meteorologist Matthew Capucci warned. We could make Matthew Capucci Discord kid. Monster earthquake struck at the coast of Russia. That's where it struck, chat. And that is the end of the story so far. Well, I guess we'll keep an eye on it. But, no one is celebrating the end of California. We can only hope. But no, this was not the San Andreas fault, sadly. The San Andreas fault is not being corrected. The fault that is San Andreas. Friends says nothing will happen. Probably nothing will happen to the US. This is a long way away from the US. And even if 3 meter high waves hit California, I don't imagine it's going to be too bad. So, yeah, there's that story. Let's go back to the fearmongering quickly and see what else they've got for us. VPNs are privacy tools, but are not silver bullets. Yep, we read that one already. That's the ESET guy. VPNs, that's all reasonable. Yeah, possibly. Technology Secretary, sites advertise VPNs as a way to bypass age checks would be punished. If platforms or sites signpost towards workarounds, we discussed that earlier. Companies are required to take reasonable steps to prevent children from seeing adult content. although detecting VPN use is seen as a consistent challenge, with providers repeatedly improving the technology they use to mask traffic. Well, I do hope that the government doesn't start pressuring these companies to take measures to prevent detected VPNs, because a lot of VPNs are run from existing server farms, known server farms, and those IPs can be checked against a list. So they might just block all VPN traffic because the UK government tells them they have to. At that point, we have to start thinking creatively. How do you verify your age on the Online Safety Act? I don't really care. How VPNs get around it? Don't really care. Just don't connect your VPN in the UK. Find a nearby country. Maybe so, Busak, yeah. Still, though, in the interceding time before we do that, we would still have to find a different solution. Can't see the stream. The age estimator can't figure my age from my avatar. Oh, no. Okay, let's see what else there is. All right, they say we found the Karen responsible for the UK Online Safety Act, and she is going after VPNs next. Layla Mickleweight. Is that a funny name, chat? 100% of book royalties are donated to the JDF. Is that the Japan Defense Force? I don't think it is, right? What is JDF? Chat, can we live? Activist Layla Mickleweight led the biggest online takedown in history, forcing Pornhub to remove 90% of its content. Well, not globally, but just for one country. Defense Force, maybe. Now she's pushing a new law to mandate adult ID verification. How do we balance child safety versus adult privacy? And then they discuss it there. Justice Defense Fund founder. Justice Defense Fund, okay. Okay. He's also going on Twitter and attempting to make this shit US federal law. 26 states already said no, and SCOTUS will say it's up to the states. They will never pass in the US. Well, I don't think so. Maybe they'll pass something similar in some states in the US, but they'd still be very strongly challenged if they tried. All right. See what else there is. JF Defense Force. I see. All right, I do have some stories from last time that we can have a look at. Some of them are still not really that temporal or ephemeral. US Immigration and Customs Enforcement has ordered a sharp increase in the use of GPS-enabled ankle monitors. Now, I was going to look at this one because I don't know why they'd bother. If you know that the people you're tracking are illegal immigrants, just deport them. Maybe the problem is that the deportation pipeline is already too full, so they're doing this as an alternative. If so, if that's what you have to do, then this is good. Let's read on and see what they're doing. The memo directs officers to fit ankle monitors on ATD participants, alternatives to detention. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. I mean, for legal immigrants, it's not a good idea. Whenever possible, expanding surveillance under the Trump administration. This doesn't really seem to be about immigration. Roughly 183,000 migrants who are currently enrolled in ATD, a program that allows them to remain out of detention while awaiting immigration hearings. Oh, okay. So it's not existing. Well, it's not criminals of crimes other than illegal immigration. It's just asylum seekers, right? Until now, only about 24,000 wore ankle monitors. Most others used a mobile app or checked in with case managers. The memo exempts pregnant women from ankle bracelets, requiring wrist-worn devices instead. Not sure why, but okay. If the alien is not being arrested at the time of reporting, escalate their supervision level to GPS ankle monitors whenever possible and increase reporting requirements, wrote Acting Assistant Director Dornisha M. Helland. Any guesses about what she's like? Bomb collar time. Arcturus says some of the more trusted illegals are let release so they can potentially get and show for a hearing. Either way, it is retarded. The only way I think this is okay is if the pipeline for deportations is already so full, they just don't have the throughput. So they have to have them sort of wait until they can be deported. Either way, if they can get these migrants tracked, then they should, but only bother if you can't immediately deport them. If you're bringing them in to put the tracker on them, you might as well deport them at that point. But as I said, if you can't, for whatever reason, immediately do so, then yes, put the tracker on. What's this? It might actually pass. What it says? Yeah, that effect of the policy has certainly you can argue it's positive of banning or reducing access to porn, especially for children. It's the rest of it that's a problem. I do like that, Marketillo. If you can't get something that's clearly of Cabal on her shirt, then I wouldn't bother for now. I'd focus on getting really good renders, and then we can add the logos afterwards. I'd also recommend Marketillo a pink and white highlights in her hair. We did discuss that earlier, and I think it would look good.
Honestly, I'm finding that the problem is getting both colors to show up, because like in my prompt, for instance, I've got both colors and it's only doing the pink.
Yeah. I think
the more
from what
separate colors that you specify just in general, the harder it has a time of actually following through, I find.
I found that Flux was much better at that.
I am currently in the process of downloading an update for my model as well. So
are you on
getting some better results?
Are you on an SDXL derivative, or is it something newer?
Let me check.
Because SDXL has trouble with that. I wouldn't recommend text with SDXL either. But Flux-based, they're usually pretty good at that, from my experience back in the day. Because the difference between models and checkpoints is important.
So I'm using a Nova-based one, Nova XL, which I think is probably...
Yeah, that sounds like SDXL. I recommend trying to not use an SDXL one. See if you can get Flux running. I don't know if you can get Flux running on 16 gig, but you probably can. Flux is generally better. Try. Even base Flux is about as good as a lot of SDXL fine tunes. What about you, Marketillo? What's the base model that you're using? Is it also SDXL? If so, try Flux. And there may be others too, but last time I checked, Flux was the best one. I just don't know how much VRAM you need. And I can't remember how much you said you had, Marketillo, but I probably wouldn't try it on a less than 12 gig, and it might not even run on 12 gig. I can't remember ever getting it running myself. Anyway. The change significantly broadens the surveillance practice ICE has been using for decades. While cheaper than detention, ankle monitors have long been criticized as stigmatizing, invasive, and physically painful. I bet they are, yeah. All right, Wave Illustrious. Illustrious is the base. All right, let me have a look quickly. Using what, sorry?
Yeah, Illustrious is the base of what I'm using as well.
Okay.
Although I'm probably
I got the restricted access on Civet AI message, but now I'm on Civet AI. Anyway, all right. Get this. The Civet AI website is still fucking balls slow, isn't it? Okay, let's have a look at this model. Tag base model.
Very annoying as well.
That sounds unlikely. SDXL doesn't mention it. Maybe it is a base model. Not familiar with this one. No, he says checkpoint. No, this doesn't look like a new base. It looks like it's a checkpoint. I'm not saying, I mean, I'm sure it's a good checkpoint, and fine tunes are often very good, but I expect this is actually SDXL. This is base model Illustrious. Oh, hold on a second. Okay, base model Illustrious, but this is Wave Illustrious, which is different. Okay, let me have a look then. Illustrious is actually quite a good name. I've just realized what they mean by that. Illustrious AI model. Illustrious XL. It's specifically an anime model, apparently. Not sure if that's true.
Yeah, it seems that turning down the CFG actually ended up helping a bit.
Illustrious based on SDXL.
I've got an update now, so I'm gonna start my.
Okay, apparently Illustrious is an SDXL fine tune.
That's I thought so.
Yeah, which is probably why
Saying
it runs on your PC. SDXL clip model. It says, yeah, indeed. Did you tell me how much VRAM you have, Marketillo? I don't think you did. If you're on 8 gig or so, then SDXL is probably about the best you can do. But if you have 12 or more, try Flux. But again, I don't know if it'll run on that little. Because SDXL will not do logos or text very well. It's got loads and loads of fine tunes out there, and you can run it on a card, but it won't do instructions. It won't do multiple colors well either. So try something else. Jackie has 24 gig of VRAM. Very nice. Why don't you make some Cabal channels for us then? Right. Okay. Let's see what else we got. I will end soon though, chat, because I am already pretty tired. 8 gig. It was 3070 Ti. Not bad. Still only 8 gig. Jackie, the pictures that Malcatillo and Quattro have been posting are a really good starting point. We already looked at this story. We looked at that story as well. Anything else here that we haven't looked at? In which case, I think we'll just wrap up now. I think we did all of these stories already last time. In that case, chat, I think we'll start to wind down now. Yeah, sorry we were so distracted earlier, but I think it's been very helpful for development. I got a lot of useful information now to improve Cabal-chan. And I am sorry that she got a bit annoying in the end. I think there's a lot of work I can do on making her less annoying. Mostly so far, I've been trying to improve her defenses, but now they're strong. I think strong enough. I now need to give her more information and refine the meaningfulness of what she says, which is going to be the really complicated part, or the really conceptually difficult part. But I reckon I can do better. Woman annoying, what is fries? Yeah, indeed. But yeah, I will continue improving her. There's still a lot of stuff that I can do. Yeah. What I'd recommend is if you're making AI images and you don't need loads and loads of customization, do consider just using someone else's A100s. It doesn't cost very much to generate images. It's actually quite cheap to generate images. I can kick up Comfy UI wherever I need to, but most of the time for AI images, I just use a website called foul.ai, which has all the latest models and is pretty reasonably priced. I just top it up with like $10 every month or so, and I can get what I need. You can also use models for video as well on there. Now, obviously, for an LLM, which is uncensored, I need it to be like as mine as I possibly can. So Cabby is on my PC, but for AI image generation, it's not as essential. So, and the annoying thing with all this AI stuff is that VRAM is just a fucking gate. You just cannot do certain things if you don't have enough VRAM for it. Using someone else's computer, you can, without having to pay for the massive graphics. I mean, you can spend $2,000 on a graphics card that has 24 gig of VRAM, or you can spend, £100 over the course of a year to use a card which has basically infinite VRAM. And to me, obviously, you'd rather have the thing. Obviously, you would, but that prospect is kind of a no-brainer. I don't use AI. I don't need AI image generation enough, and I don't need it to be customized enough to run it myself, though I still can if I do need it.
It also depends on generating.
Yeah. Yes, if you're generating something that you want uncensored, then. But the thing is, with visuals, the only real censored visuals are pornography and gore and stuff like that. I don't really have any interest in generating those. The censored speech, no, that is important.
If you're generating spicy shit posts, for instance, you don't necessarily want a company seeing that.
Quite. All right. Well, keep them coming, chat. And thank you for joining me today. If anyone is feeling generous today and would like to help out Cabal's sustenance, it is important, and contributions have been a little light recently. Thank you, though, to Sommervox for contributing last stream, for continued work on Cabal-chan. I will continue working on Cabal-chan, but if anyone wants me to just fucking stop and work on something else, you can influence me by contributing, by showing me that that's what people care about, or that that's what what people care about to the extent of how much you contribute. So here is some links if you would like to help out. Thank you in advance for doing so. Remember that if you want to decide who is Discord Kitten, then you get a much better ability to decide via fund.luzulu.net. I am working on the new economy system. I've taken a pause on that because I'm so distracted by Cabal-chan, but I will get back to that soon. And all the things that you do now will be retroactively included in the new system. So it will not go to waste in any sense. Right. Thank you for joining me, chat. I have a different priority right now, aside from just streaming longer. I need to get my sleep pattern in order because I've got some real life stuff coming up. So I probably will join you briefly in the pit, but then I'll probably head to bed. Do keep these coming though, Alcatillo. And you as well, Quattro. Yes.
Of course.
Thank you for joining me, everyone. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you in a few minutes in pit 1. Good night, everyone.